Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, we look at the barely there town of Cincinnati, Arkansas, where a twisted love triangle between unlikely participants ends in brutal murder. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week on another incredibly crazy edition of Small Town Murder.
Yes.
Our second Small Town Murder from the new studio, which just feels good to say.
We're going to count them up.
And it feels good to be here. It really, really does. Thank you guys for the studio. And also thank you this week for your iTunes reviews. Man, thank you guys for that, because oh my God, it gets us noticed. It really does. We're pushing along to where we're getting into the echelon of some heavy hitting podcasts where we have like almost the same amount of iTunes reviews.
You guys are crushing it.
Some really big ones. And that's all you guys. Thank you so much. They really, really do help. So if you have not done it yet, please go over to iTunes, get on there, give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say.
Nope.
It really doesn't tell us anything. Tell us whether you like chicken parmesan or not. And we'll be like, all right, but you got to say why if the answer's no.
Meal.
If the answer's no, I got to know why.
Yeah.
Because that's horseshit.
There's something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you. And you can give me your argument, and my mind is open. We'll just say that. So do that, please. Unless, you can feel however you want about chicken parmesan if you are one of our amazing producers who we're going to talk about later. And if you want to be one of those amazing people, you can go over to patreon.com/crimeinsports, and you can make a donation there, or over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. to make a donation there, a one-time donation. You can also get a hold of us using that email address, or tell you what you can do. Just go over to shutupandgivememurder.com, and you can get everything you want there. There's links to all that stuff. There's merchandise, all the T-shirts, all the the very popular new Cheer Up Bitch shirt from the Betty Lou episode. If you want to check that out, do all of that. It's a lot of fun. But now we have to give the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Definitely have to do that. This is a comedy podcast, so that's the complaint we most get is, hey, they tell jokes in there.
Right.
No one. It's weird because like there's grisly murder, and we don't get a lot of complaints about that. As far as how dare you,
right.
We get, hey, I wasn't expecting that one to be that graphic,
right?
But
unless
like
the description is over the top, and it's not even the description.
Yeah.
That's not our fault. We
I'm
just
not
tell you what
embellishing.
happened.
I'm literally, when it comes to descriptions, I like to stick to like court documents because they're not usually they're usually the final what's been hashed out in the end of the facts. It's usually pretty dry, and a lot of times a medical examiner saying it, not like an embellished journalist's account of like intestines dangling from the ceiling, like stalactites or stalagmites, whichever one comes from the ceiling.
I think it's stalactites.
I don't remember which one. I don't remember fifth grade.
I remember
going to the cave
and ceiling.
I'm not sure.
Don't look at me.
What we're trying to say is it's a comedy podcast. We're comedians. We're going to make jokes. There is horrible things that happen here that we do talk about, but what we do is we try not to make jokes at the expense of the victims or of the victims' families. That's what we're trying to do here. That's the goal, because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's the truth.
That's what we're doing here. And if you're on board with that, that's awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Let's do it. If that doesn't sound good to you, you should turn it off now.
Yeah.
If you think that true crime and comedy don't belong together, you should turn. We don't want to hear complaints later, because like we said, our floor manager is a heavy-set Albanian fellow with blood on his smock and a Pall Mall precariously dangling
Not
from
even
his
a
lips.
Camel.
No, non-filter Pall Mall, like my grandfather used to smoke while he cut people's hair. That sort of thing. He's not a friendly guy who's ready with a free dessert certificate.
No.
He's going to tell you to get out, or I cut you with cleaver. That's what we have here. So if that sounds good.
You like finger?
You like I cut off.
Right.
So if you like that, if that sounds good to you, awesome. If not, take a hike.
Yeah. On the real.
Nice to meet you.
It's the sweetest thing we can say to you. Get
That's
fucking
it.
lost.
For everybody else, I know what you're thinking. So let's do it. Shut up. And give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy. Let's go on a trip, shall we?
I'd love to.
Let's go on a trip. We're coming.
This is gross.
Oh, it's hot in Phoenix.
Sticky and
sticky. It's hot everywhere.
But what is going on?
It was nice in Rhode Island last week when we were there for that episode. That was nice.
Whatever being there is, shat
the ocean's
on us yesterday.
there. Oh yes,
Jesus.
Here with the storms.
Is mud from the sky.
That was gross. Yeah, that's what happens in Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's gross things. The desert's not made for people.
No,
is
it's not.
what we figured out here.
No.
But we're going somewhere worse than Phoenix. By
surprisingly found someplace that has
objectively worse. It's objectively worse. Like there's very few people, maybe a couple people that live in this place that would say, but pretty much everyone else on earth would go, Phoenix is way better than where we are. We are going all the way to Cincinnati, Arkansas.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. You're like, Cincinnati's not a small town, is it? It's a pretty big city.
Yeah.
No, but Cincinnati, Arkansas is not a big city.
Same spelling.
It's Cincinnati, Arkansas. I hate these small towns. No creativity.
None.
Especially, I get if you're naming it some town in England.
Right.
Back
or
in
after
the day,
a dude that found it.
Well, that makes sense.
Right.
I'm saying if you're naming it after another place. Like in the 1800s, it's not like there was the news or the internet. You were like, oh, there's a little tiny place across an ocean that's named this. No one knows that. I'll name this little hamlet this thing. But now it's like it's in Ohio and it's got a name and it's a much bigger city than you.
It's not even that far down the road, Ohio, from Arkansas. I mean, it's like a day trip.
Let's talk. Well, it's in the northwest part of Arkansas.
Okay.
It's right all the way on the western border, right near the Oklahoma border. Yep. So that's some interesting country. If you've ever driven cross country on the 40, this is the area where you go. Let's not stop at that McDonald's. Let's wait. Because there's bad things happening.
Fucked up.
I once stopped in Arkansas driving cross country. We stopped at like 2 a.m. in one of these backwoods places to get gas, and there was, I don't know what the exact. It's hard to measure how many of an insect there are. I'm going to go with a plague. I'm going to call it a fucking biblical event. It was a plague of giant grasshoppers.
Ugh.
A plague. I mean, everything. The gas pumps were covered in them. You had to like knock them off,
and you had to stop.
We had to stop. So we
you had no gas.
had to throw it in there, slam the nozzle in the tank, and run inside to this place, wiping grasshoppers off of each other. And in here was a guy working there, and then there was a little back room with 2 arcade games, and literally 2 toothless hillbillies
eating grasshoppers,
playing this, covered from head to toe in grass, not even concerned about it. Covered their face. They wore them like a camouflage mask.
They just wiped their eyes.
That's what was there. And I said, I'm going to take my chances with the grasshoppers. And I turned right back around, and I literally just swatted grasshoppers for the next 10 minutes while my tank filled. I said, half a tank, good enough to get me out of Arkansas. See you later. Getting the fuck out of here. This was right in this area, basically. It's a little over 3 hours to Little Rock.
Okay.
About 3 hours to Oklahoma City, so middle of nowhere.
Shit options.
11 hours to the real Cincinnati. So
see, not even that far.
That's what I mean. It's 11
Just
hours.
Get the fuck out.
3 hours to Phillips, Oklahoma. So
stay the fuck away from there too.
3 hours from Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and Phillips. It's a bad triangulation. What's going on right here? Jesus, it's in Washington County, which is nowhere near Washington of any kind, but they named everything after George Washington for a while. Zip code 72769, area code 479. We could say that there is how big it is, but we really can't, because it's an unincorporated town with no real borders. It's mashed. All the statistics are mashed into a nearby town called Summers. So it's all mixed in together.
SUMM or SOME?
SUMM.
Okay.
They have no idea, like, Cincinnati doesn't have their own post office, as we'll talk about why. They get their mail from somewhere else.
Because the mailman gets fucking confused.
It's a goddamn mess. Yeah, he's delivering we got way too much mail for the amount of people that are here. What the fuck is it's all from another... Oh, never mind. That's why.
Where's my car payment mail?
In Cincinnati, they're like... In Ohio, they're like, we don't have enough mail for all these people. I swear to Christ. We have enough mail for like 1 block, and that's it. Enough for the Bengals. That's all we have. Everybody else is out.
Hickey Woods is getting his mail in Arkansas.
That's all. You know he is. Unincorporated community, like I said. So no real borders. Motto is don't bother. It's Arkansas.
Right.
There is no motto for this. No, they're not proud of where they are, and they're not even going to attempt to try to get you to go there.
We know it's confusing.
You're not coming.
It's like
fine.
Ohio, but less teeth. But some shit like that.
Shittier and more overalls. The amount of overalls in this case that we're going to talk about.
I guarantee it.
Wait, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil this for you. This is a case that I'm so mad. As I put it together, I said, God damn it, why didn't I save this for a live show? Because the visuals on this case, I wouldn't even have to say anything. We could just sit there and just drink.
Flip through a slideshow.
Just be like, I could say dryly, blah, 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 click, and show this thing, and people would lose their shit, and they'd be like, thank you.
I would sip bourbon.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to do anything. Neither of us could tell any jokes at all. Just when we needed a laugh or something, just boom, picture.
Little
look
vacation.
At this. Let's look at this hillbilly. History of this town here. In the early years, this is before 1857, it wasn't known as Cincinnati.
Did you just almost say 18 Cincinnati?
18 Cincinnati, yes, because I am.
That was awesome.
This is
you are punchy.
Back in 18 Cincinnati, this is what happened. I've been drinking bourbon too. I have not been drinking bourbon, but in the early years here, before 1857, it wasn't even known as Cincinnati. So they changed it to Cincinnati later on when the other Cincinnati was already fucking established. It's not like it was like, oh, they did it in the 1700s. They were both unaware of each other. Nope, they knew that shit existed, and they didn't care.
At least one dude, he was like, I got an idea for this place.
Well, before that, you'd think, what's the name before that? But Akron? No. What's Columbus?
Fucking Toledo, Arkansas.
The original name here is Buzzard Roost.
Much better.
But at least it sounds like something.
That's what every town in Arkansas should be named something like that.
Something like that.
Terrifying.
It's like one of those terrifying. In northern Arizona, a lot of these towns are like the bloody this or the something basin, the dead. One's like the
horse thief,
the dead horse. Oh, the horse thief. I was going to say the fucking headless dead,
headless fucking
dead
bleeding
animal
face.
Corpse basin. Creek,
putrid entrails,
Creek Road,
right?
Whatever the fuck it is. So Buzzard Roost. At least that sounds interesting. If you're going to be driving through somewhere and you see that on a map,
museum.
Buzzard Roost. What the hell is that? It sounds kind of weird. You could make that like something. But then they changed it.
Not Cincinnati.
Not right away. First it was no. They couldn't decide on a name, these people.
Confused
they really
motherfuckers.
couldn't. They're like, Buzzard Roost is too hillbilly.
Yeah.
We need something a little more cosmopolitan, if you know what I mean. So we're going to go with Sylvia.
That not bad.
Silvia.
Bad.
Sylvia.
Now bad.
Bad, but better than Buzzard Roost if you're trying to attract people who have teeth and have more teeth than overalls total in their life.
Buzzard Roost sounds like the town from Crybaby. What was the name of that fucking town?
I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie in 20 years.
I can't remember either.
20 years.
Somebody right now is shouting it at their
fucking assholes.
idiots.
We'll figure it out. Don't tweet it at us. Don't worry about it.
We'll know it by the end of this show.
We'll know. It's not a big deal. Just don't. Trust me. It's not okay.
Turkey, something turkey.
Something turkey. You got that right.
Turkey Creek? Yes.
Yeah, I
think that's
right.
it.
Yeah.
I think it's Turkey Creek.
Are you thinking of Turkey Creek? I made a Tombstone reference.
No, that's Vermilion Creek. Vermilion Cliffs?
Turkey
Creek Jack Johnson? Was it Turkey
I think
Creek?
It was Turkey Creek, but I don't think it was Jack Johnson.
It is Jack Johnson.
It is Jack Johnson, like the fighter? Why would they name him that?
Know.
That's very confusing because I think of the fighter.
That's all I remember because he had the fucking
But it was Turkey Creek. I think you're just saying that because I said very cosmopolitan.
It's something turkey.
I think I just implanted Tombstone in your head and you made that happen. I'm not positive. Or it's an amazing coincidence and that would be even cooler.
It could be.
That's possible. So it was called Sylvia for a while. This is when they got the post office. The first post office there was called the Sylvia Post Office, and that was in 1838. So they had that going on there. Everybody there at first, this was a thriving place. Yeah. This was people came from Fayetteville, which is like a big city now. Yeah. Not a big city, but a big city for fucking Western Arkansas. Fayetteville, they came from Fayetteville here for supplies. Okay. So this was not like some little podunk shithole out of the way.
Sylvia was the bigger town between
Fayetteville. Yeah. They were like, we need to. They got the Walmart, so we need to go there. That's why
they got that Piggly Wiggly and shit.
Oh man, let's stop dreaming. Yeah. Stop dreaming. Now, I thought about the Piggly Wiggly, and I got all excited, and all they're going to have is the Walmart. I know it's
You're moving your lips way too much for Arkansas.
No, it's all good.
They mumble so much.
That is a mumbly culture.
What is that?
That is a mumbly culture.
How does that even get started, that everybody's that fucking lazy?
That's how Bill Clinton was governor for 20 years. He was the only guy who didn't mumble. And they were like, I understand what he said. Everybody understood him.
Educated.
Man, did you hear him? He moved his lips when he talked. Now, I don't know about that. So
boy got a lot of energy.
So 1857 it became Cincinnati because near here is the Cincinnati Creek. Okay. So that's why they say they named it Cincinnati, but it's still the creek it's still not yours.
I bet the creek was named after that city too.
That's what I mean. You can't have it. It's just not yours. Cincinnati doesn't belong to you, stupid. That's just the end of the fucking.
That's brilliant.
That's the end of the line there. So 1887, this place is bumping at this point, and I found a newspaper report from 1887 talking about the amount of business transacted, which I think is funny because they're saying like this is a boom town, and now this is nothing.
If you can count how much business is being transacted,
it's
not a lot.
It's not, but 1887. Think about too what the money is now, but even still, it's even with inflation, it's still not a huge town gross domestic product that's going on here.
But there weren't computers to know how much. You know what I mean?
They wrote every damn thing down.
You have to go on
one horseshoe, $4. They would have
the majority of these motherfuckers can't read and write.
So they got one guy, one horseshoe, brought down the fucking horseshoe. On the total here, the aggregate sales, I guess, money made was $224,935. They had merchandise, wagons, and agricultural implements were $82,865. Grain and grain products, $43,500. Cattle, hogs, sheep, and mules, $91,750
for a year.
Miscellaneous, $5,000.
Miscellaneous,
whores. Right? I don't know how to spell miscellaneous. I can't read, you son of a bitch.
MISC.
How do you spell whores where it doesn't bring attention? How's that? Whatever that word is.
And we're just going to make it 5,000. That's the biggest business in that town, and they're throwing 5 as the total. No,
they said they had 5 general merchants, 2 milliners, 1 druggist, 1 wagon factory, 1 agricultural implement factory, 2 blacksmiths, 2 tanneries, 2 harness shops, 1 undertaker, got to have him, 2 shoe shops, 1 merchant and custom mill, 2 physicians, a dentist, 1 hotel, 1 livery stable, an academy, and 2 churches.
This is impressive.
That's a town, man.
Yeah.
They got some shit going on
That's
back
jobs.
then. And that's 1887.
Yeah.
So that's like Old West time. That was 1887, and by 1911, they had no more post office anymore.
None.
They closed the post office.
They crashed
They
already.
were like, it's dead, man.
30 years and the shit crashed.
That's it. 30 years. That's how these boom towns. That's
Yeah.
what happens. But there wasn't even like gold or anything there.
Yeah.
They diverted the mail to Summers, which is just to the south, which is kind of this whole area. Area was settled a little more in the 1830s and 40s. This is where we are. So it's all farms. And so this whole town is a huge farms. So there's a lot of distance between people, that sort of thing. They used a sizable number of slaves in the 1840s to make these farms. So this is that area here.
But the land is so beautiful, too, because it's so green in the summertime, because it's so fucking moist.
It's just weird that you followed up there. They used a lot of slaves with that. But the land is so beautiful. I know that those were separate thoughts for you.
They were.
They had slaves. That's bad.
Yeah.
The land is beautiful. Those were separate thoughts, but it sounded like...
Paired up together.
It sounded like you were trying to say, but the land needs to be tended because it's so beautiful. That's what it sounded like you were saying, and I just want to clear up that that's not what he was saying. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, Andrew Jackson. Accidental Andrew Jackson over here.
That it's just... I can't believe how fucking gross it is down there. And you'd want... I mean, if you saw a picture of it, you'd be like, I'll live there. And then you get there and you go, fuck no.
Fuck no. It's so hot and sticky, and
how much did
no
we
one
just
opens
spend?
their mouth
Right.
when they speak. This is awful.
How much did we just spend to move here?
But they got the Piggly Wigglies.
blew it.
Yeah. 2010, bad shit happened here. New Year's Eve tornado outbreak was a big famous thing that happened in 2010. Outbreak. 3-day-long tornado outbreak.
Oh, my God.
It was basically like, I guess this is the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like,
they just keep coming.
If tornadoes keep coming for 3 days, you think that, I guess God has decided that the world is over. Like, that's it. It's over with.
Y'all remember that plague of fucking grasshoppers? It was forewarning us.
That's what happens
about this.
See, this is what I don't understand. Like I've driven back and forth across the country a bunch of times, and I fly through this area. Like I make it so I'm not stopping where there's tornadoes.
Yeah.
Like literally, I don't give a fuck. I'm not stopping where there's tornadoes.
I don't blame you.
Because every time I do, there's always some sort of crazy weird. Last time I was in Oklahoma City like 5 years ago. I had to stay over there driving through, and there was the sirens were fucking going, and we're like, what do we do to the lady at the front of the desk of the hotel? And she's like, y'all could just sit in the tub. I was like, what? Y'all could just sit in the tub? What is going on here?
And then what?
This is when the building gets sucked up, I'll be sitting there in the tub. What are we talking about here? Like, then what happens?
You could chain yourself up in a barn with fucking sling blades the movie Twister.
Do I fill the tub?
I remember.
How does this work?
I remember in Twister they got a bunch of tin cans and saved the day. Is that what we do?
Possible little balls, maybe we can some. But these people, this was terrible.
Do we make propellers? Is that what we do?
Maybe. Do you have a truck now? Let me ask you.
Do you have a brand new Dodge Ram?
Is that because I feel like that's the only vehicle. The only vehicle that's going to be able to do this now.
Do you have a brand new V10 Dodge Ram? Because that's what they was promoting in that movie.
Do you have access to Philip Seymour Hoffman by any chance? Is that a possibility?
Is there possibly a Helen Hunt around here?
Do you have access to the man either from Independence Day or Tombstone? I'm not sure which one I'm looking for. One of them two.
One of them brothers. I want one of them.
I want one of them. This was bad, though. This was 37 tornadoes.
Fucking what?
That's what I mean. This is rough.
37 over 3 days. That's 12 a day. That's one every 2 hours.
That's insane. That's
fucking
hell.
bananas.
That's get in the car and drive away as fast as you can.
Why do we live here?
Run. This is tracked across 5 states. It killed 9, including injured a shitload of people. This was centered around Missouri and Mississippi, but the worst of them happened on New Year's Eve. Actually on New Year's Eve, this was right around Cincinnati. Cincinnati got the brunt of this. Out of everywhere on earth, this little speck of a shithole town just got destroyed.
And in the Bible Belt, they were.
blaming the gays.
December 31st. We ain't seeing next year.
It's coming. It's the gays' fault. Right. Yeah, that's what they did.
There was a lot of cock blowing. I know it.
I know it, damn it. So there's damaging winds here. They ripped off barn. They were talking about coming from Oklahoma, ripping off barn roofs and shit like that. See, what are you going to do in the tub? That's a real Twister type situation. But tracked it all the way to Cincinnati, Arkansas, where that's when it reached its peak intensity. Winds were estimated at 142 miles an hour, and the tornado was a width of 300 yards.
Jesus
That's just
Christ.
3 football fields of hell coming at you. That's all that is. It's all, a bunch of homes were destroyed. Luckily, there's not a lot. There's nothing's together. It's all spread out, so you're not destroying too much here. But trees, power poles were knocked down. 2 people were killed when a trailer was destroyed. It sucked the trailer up because obviously
when a trailer was jammed up their ass.
That's what happens. And then another person died as he was tending cattle when the barn collapsed.
Why would you do that?
He's like, well, he was.
Fuck 'em.
I guess I'll just stay in the barn and hang out with them. But they ain't gonna drive me from my barn. I feel like it's that sort of thing.
Fucking mind.
It was completely reached a maximum width of 500 yards at some point.
I mean, if a tornado sucks your cow up, what's the worst thing? The worst thing that happens is it's pre-butchered for you. That's, you know what I mean?
Well,
you don't have to cut
you
the
gotta find
T-bones
it
out.
first.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Y'all
They'll be
seen a
everywhere.
cow flying around here? I put a red. It's got a ribbon on it now.
Well, there it goes. Oh, look, another one with a red ribbon. I think that was the same one.
I think so. George W. Bond is the only notable person from here. He's a graduate of Cincinnati High School, and he was later president of Louisiana Tech University. A very boring man.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. So that's the Sahara Desert fart fact of the week. George W. Bond is from this fucking dump. Population of this general area, Summers and Cincinnati, whatever, is 1,268. But Cincinnati doesn't have that many people because it's all spread out. So we don't know where it's broken down, but that's in a whole giant area. It's 1,268. 1990, it had 704 people. So it's really
it's really falling apart.
It's people have moved here. It's an 80% increase.
Wait a minute,
from 704 to 1,268.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, it's jumped actually.
I was seeing the opposite.
Oh, okay. I see that.
Obviously.
So, median age.
The bummer is that you've done that before, and I was like distracted, grabbing a drink or something. I was staring directly
you were
at
focused.
you and watched.
Didn't matter. Didn't matter. That's not going to help any. Maybe it's better if you're distracted. What do you say? Tell you what, get on Instagram and dick around for a while. You're going to come up with some gems, I feel.
I'm staring right at you, doing math in my head.
That's awesome. Median age in this town, 33.8, so it's actually a younger crowd than normal here, than the 37.4 that's average. Male population and female, way out of whack here. Yeah. Male is 59%, which it's normally about 49%, so way out of whack because it's a lot, I guess, because it's a lot of farms and shit, but I mean, there's women on farms.
And these bitches talk back, so sometimes they disappear.
I don't know. I guess that counts all them farm workers. Now, there was more women, but there's also holes in farms. I don't know if you know that.
The mouthy ones walk off.
That happens. I don't know where they go. I don't know where they might be. Have you checked Summers?
Have you checked the beach of the Cincinnati Creek?
That's possible.
I heard they like water.
Oh, everybody does.
Right.
Now, the population here, married population, 81% in this, which is insanely out of whack. It's 50 is the normal. Single population, 18%. Divorced, 2.28%.
Wow.
So not a lot of divorce.
Together.
Yeah, it's very strange. Single with children, 0.00. What the hell is happening here?
How does that happen?
If you have kids, you stay together, I guess. I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is super weird. And the way that we get to the religious part, it's not even religion. It's not like 98%. Right. I just don't understand what's so out of whack.
It's so weird.
I have a feeling that this town, these people feel like they're not going to report much. Okay. I feel like out of everybody, they got like 12% of people to fill out the census. Yeah. And they're like, nobody will tell us nothing. I don't know what. They're just out there on them farms. Right. I feel like we're going to get shot if we try.
They take to themselves a lot.
Let's just say 81%'s married. Let's just stick with that because that's out of the 10 people we talked to, there was 4 couples.
We know 8. We know 8 married.
Race of this town, white people, 49.29%. Okay. This is what I mean. I don't know if this is true or not, or if this is just, I don't know if they pulled 36.67% Asian.
What?
Why would there
What?
be that many Asian people in Western Arkansas in some small town? I
Damn
don't
near
understand
40%.
it. I don't know if that's true. I found it on multiple sites. I'm like, are they reported? What is happening?
How is that?
Someone fucking around with the census? Like, literally, did they say, all right, everybody, at a town meeting, everybody, if there's a guy, I got a mortgage. Like, shut the fuck up. We know about your fucking mortgage.
We heard
right?
about your fucking mortgage.
We all have mortgages here. But what we're going to do, everybody, when you fill out your sentence, just fuck around. Just fuck around. But one thing you're going to do, about half y'all going to say you're Asian, if you can do that for me. But otherwise, just have a ball. I don't care what the fuck you say.
But everybody just tell them.
But you're Asian.
Tell them you're married Asians.
That's it. A through M, Asian. Y'all are Asian. Everybody else just be whatever. I don't give a fuck. Whatever y'all want.
A through M.
A through M, Asian. All y'all. So, oh man,
that's terrific.
58% of the people are religious. 23% Baptist, because Baptists are, as we know, the Catholics of the South.
That's true.
What we know here. Otherwise, it's a little bit.
How much percent?
Baptist?
Yeah.
About 24% Baptist.
Just by sheer statistics,
10%
of those people are fucking Asian.
Oh, they're Asian. Asian Baptists. Asian Baptists. Y'all are going to hell. So
that is fucking amazing.
0.01% Jewish. Yeah. So not a lot of Jewish people here. 0.02% Muslim. So that's not a lot of that going on there either. 40% Democratic, Democrat, 56% Republican, about 4% Independent, which is more than normal here. Unemployment rate isn't very high because it's farms. You wouldn't live there unless you had you live there because you live where you work.
Right.
I feel like there's not a lot of that going on here. Average, the median,
not a big commute.
Not a big commute to outside.
Right.
Median household income here, $37,335, which is about
money.
$16,000 less than the normal in the rest of the country. Agriculture, that sort of thing, about 25%, which normally it's 1.3%. Yeah. So that's the big chunk of the jobs. Cost of living, we say 100 is par average. 82 in Summers, this area, Summers, Cincinnati, whatever. 82. Most things are a little below average, but housing is the lowest at 66. Yeah. Median home cost here, $123,100, which it's $185,800 normally in the rest of the country, in the normal society. A lot of houses in the $100,000 to $150,000 range here, which is nice. And if we've convinced you that you want to start over and move somewhere fresh,
bunker.
That's it. We have for you the Cincinnati, Arkansas Real Estate Report. Found nothing in actual Cincinnati proper. Nothing. Found 2 in Summers here. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,200 square feet, $75,000 for this little gem, this little piece of slice of heaven, piece of hell that this is. I also found, it looks like shit too, I'll be honest with you.
Of course
it
does.
looks like you would have 14 children chained up inside. I found
how many square feet?
1,200.
Yeah, about 200 of that is underground.
I'm sure. Crawl space that they count.
Right.
3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,408 square foot house. It's at auction.
Okay.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Okay. $96,000 for that.
Yeah. Or best offer.
Or best offer. However it comes up. That's what we're starting at.
They sell a house like people buy an old Volkswagen.
Yeah. It's just whatever. It's a 72. So,
I mean, I was asking 1,800, but
I found a foreclosure here. Foreclosure, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,400 square foot house. Real nice house. $287,000. The Zestimate from Zillow is $388,459. So it's a value. Jump on that.
Zestimates.
Oh yeah. Things to do in this town. This town has 6 cemeteries. What the fuck do you need 6 cemeteries for?
How many people again?
1,200.
1,200
6
people.
cemeteries.
6 of them.
It seems way too. Are they collecting bodies from other small towns around the county? What's going on?
I hated my stepfather, but I hated him most whenever we would drive by a cemetery and he would point at it. Every fucking one of them, every single time, and would say, people are just dying to get in there. I wanted to jump through the back seat.
It's a terrible joke.
Strangle that fucking life out of that man. I probably should have.
I wouldn't. Why not? Well, you wouldn't be here now, probably. We also have the Patriarchs, which is a women's Bible study group and the things to do, hosted by the Community Christian Fellowship. Details of this are: join us as we study the patriarchs of the Bible and focus on God's faithfulness.
Okay.
All morning sessions will have $5 childcare available. Evening sessions, no childcare. You fucking slacker, leave them at home. So you can,
your old man's home.
Yeah, that's right. Crime rate in this town.
I was blown away at that point. You said a women's group called the Patriarchs.
The Patriarchs.
Like, how stupid are
they're
these
studying
women?
the patriarchs of the Bible. They're getting together going, y'all, let's oppress ourselves, all right? Everybody?
Welcome to Oppression Weekly.
Let's do that. Yes. No, it's self-oppression, and we're going to do it. Yeah, well, the men are busy, so they need... The men are working. They're all working, so they ain't have time to really oppress us. So we got to oppress ourselves. See, that's how it works. Now, Betty.
Yeah.
Now, I want you and Kathy to get together. I want y'all to abuse each other now, because the men are busy. So that's what I want to happen. Crime rate in this town.
There will be a shut up bitch or a cheer up bitch.
Something's going to happen.
Something's getting slung.
Crime rate here. Property crime's a little lower than average, about 15% lower, not bad. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 15%, 20%, actually 20% lower than the national average, which is it's lower here because there's not a lot going on.
There's not a lot of people to assault.
Not a lot of people to assault. Things are spread out. Let's talk about some people that got spread out over this town and some bad things that happened in this town.
Okay.
Because some bad things did happen in this town, or at least one bad thing.
Yeah.
Bad thing that happened several. We'll find out. Okay, let's do this.
In the 1800s, a lot lot of bad things happen around
man,
that town.
Jesus Christ, they had slaves.
Yeah,
you betcha. But it's just beautiful land, though, Jimmy. It's just so beautiful. Look at that.
A lot of bad things happen on this beautiful
land. Look at that cotton shimmer in the sun. June 15th. 2007. This in outside of Cincinnati. This is Cincinnati's kind of the closest town. They also say it's kind of near Siloam Springs, and so it's kind of in the middle of this area. But it's most of the time referred to as outside of Cincinnati, and they're referred to as like the Cincinnati man or the Cincinnati woman. That's why we went with Cincinnati. Plus, I think it's hilarious that Arkansas is a fucking Cincinnati. That's funny too.
It's ridiculous.
It's
so stupid.
So June 15th, 2007, a Bob Dale Devour.
Yeah.
Devour.
You
I want to say it's. We're going to say Devore.
We're going with Bob Dale.
It's Devore. The Dale never gets used. That's just his real name, but his full name is Bob Dale Devore.
They didn't even name him Robert.
No, Bob Dale. So Bob Dale.
Everybody in fucking Arkansas has two names.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
He never uses Dale.
Yeah.
He goes by Bob in his defense, but he looks like a Bob Dale. This man is an old farmer and truck driver who wears overalls all the time. I mean, all the time.
No shirt.
No, he has a shirt
sometimes.
also. If you catch him on
At
a good
least
day.
when you take a picture.
At least in the pictures I've seen. Yeah, he's like, hold on a minute, damn it, Jesus. Y'all taking pictures.
Goddamn shirt on.
Goddamn shirt on this goddamn shit. With a friggin' camera. Goddamn Asians with their cameras everywhere in this goddamn town. So, sorry, I couldn't help myself. So, Bob Dale Devore.
Yeah.
He calls 911 from a rural farm, 270 acre huge rural farm outside Cincinnati. Calls 911. Now let's talk about Bob and who Bob is before we get into this here. Let's talk about Bob Dale. Now, Bob Dale Devore. Now, Bob Dale.
Was Dale Billy taken?
Bob Dale, that's his brother, Jimmy. Jesus Christ, have some fucking respect. That's his father, grandfather, and brother's name. He's upset because he wasn't born first to get that title. It's like, man, I got to be Bob Dale all by myself.
They all get Dale Billy. It's clearly the better name.
I'm going to have 5 kids. I'm going to name them all Bob Dale and see how they like that. Ain't nobody going to keep Bob Dale down.
Bob Dale.
This is Bob Dale's day, damn it. Yeah. So, old Bob Dale, he was born November 18th, 1942. He's from Chester, Oklahoma, as most people are. I know that's where you're from, Jimmy. I was born there. I know, what is it? I think 34 of United States American presidents have been born in Chester, Oklahoma, I believe. So, it's a hotbed. Let's just say that. He was the son of Arthur Agnew Devore, which is quite the name.
Yeah.
Arthur Agnew.
I mean, how...
Agnew. It's quite the middle name.
It feels like, too...
I love these old-timey middle names.
Yeah.
They're my favorite thing ever.
It feels like back then, like they figured it's all in the name. You know, like you give them a great name, they'll succeed.
Well, that's kind of all you really needed back then, because you had your name, and that was pretty much it. Like, even if you ran for president, there was like a sketch of you and maybe a picture that someone saw one time in a book. Like, there was no... They didn't have, like, on TV all the time. It was just like, well, that name sounds better than that name.
Right.
That sounds solid. Chester A. Art. That sounds solid. You know what I mean? People just pulling shit out of their ass. Just Andrew Jackson.
Right.
That sounds like a con man who likes Indians. So also his mom was Hallie Mae Harris DeVore. So Hallie Mae and Arthur Agnew are the parents here. He's born to them. He grows up in a rural area, grows up farming, grows up, I mean, a tough scrabble there. I mean, in the 40s in Oklahoma, farming, that sounds rough.
That builds a man, though.
Oh, he's kind of like, for lack of a better term, a man's man when it comes to this sort of thing. Like,
Jay, where's overalls?
I feel like he could build a barn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could just be like, get me the goddamn wood, and he'd just have it up. You know what I mean?
Can you get me the wooden nails? Christ's sake, stop
Jesus,
nagging me.
Not me to do everything for you. Just you get them. I'll put the damn barn up. Just get me the wooden nails. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a really, really awesome sponsor, The Great Courses Plus.
TheGreatCoursesPlus.com.
Oh, my God. Fantastic. Everybody, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, summer's here. You're going to learn something new. That's what you do. You got a lot of time. It's too hot outside. It's too bright. Go inside. Learn something new. Learn by watching The Great Courses Plus. We love The Great Courses Plus over here, and you will too. And with this, you get unlimited access to explore anything about everything. Learn from award-winning experts who are so knowledgeable. Every topic you want, everything from history to physics, anything you want, crime, anything is in here. This is perfect for anything. You got a long plane trip coming up? Why not learn something? And you can do it so easily and so enjoyably with The Great Courses Plus. We recommend checking out a course that we've really enjoyed, Understanding the Mysteries of Human Behavior.
Yes.
We do that kind of every week on the show anyway. We try and unravel. That's what it is. And this course helped us immensely to kind of get some insight into why people are doing these things that they're doing, especially on our show. Really, really fascinating. Check it out if you like stuff like this, or check out any of their, oh my God, so many courses about everything. Just choose and get started with The Great Courses Plus. Enjoy any of their fascinating courses with this amazing special offer. For our listeners only, a free trial with unlimited access to the entire Great Courses Plus library.
You saying on a tablet?
That's on anything.
A computer.
You name it. On your phone, everywhere.
Unbelievable.
To start your free trial, though, you must go to our special URL today. Got to do that. Get started today. You will love it. Sign up at thegreatcoursesplus.com/STM. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/STM, and go learn something.
thegreatcoursesplus.com/STM. Free trial. Go give it a shot. And now back to the show.
So he was in the U.S. Navy. Also, he honorable discharge there. When he got out, he was a member of the VFW post 1674 down in Siloam Springs. Yeah. So he was hanging out down there. He marries a woman. He meets a woman who's been married before, but he meets a woman named Pauline. It becomes Pauline DeVore. This woman here, she's a tough one. Yeah. She is known to everyone as she's a tough old broad. Yeah. They called her a tough old redneck cowboy lady. That's what a person called her. A redneck cowboy lady.
It's called a cowgirl, sir.
And no, not her. She's not a cowboy. She's a cowboy lady. That's what and that's how she acts. And she's tough, and she has everybody's respect. Yeah. And you wouldn't dare call her a girl, I don't feel like. Even 10 years ago or 20 years ago, she's a badass. She's known as hard-nosed, very controlling of her family, not a person to fuck with about anything, especially money, property, things, anything. Just you you deal with her. Like her friends say, like, you don't want to be on the bad side of Pauline.
Right.
Like, that's not what you want.
She wears the overalls in this family.
You're friends with her, it's fine, but you're on her bad side. You're in deep shit right there. Yeah, she wears the overalls and holds an extra pair just in case, so you can't have any. She's tough. So this 911 call here from said Bob Dale. Yeah. Now that we know a little background on Bob. Bob Dale, and I heard the 911 recording, he just reports a burglary. He's like, I just got home. And he's calm as shit. He sounds like he called. It sounds like he called to order pizza and didn't know what he wanted. Once he got the people on the phone, he was like, I guess a large pie. Pepperoni, topping pepperoni, I guess. Like, he's just very like, I don't know. Just got home and I think my place is robbed.
Stuffed crust sounds great.
They're like, okay, well, what happened here? They said, what's missing? And he said, guns.
Oh boy.
Bank bags full of money. And my wife. That's exactly how he said it. And,
really?
And my wife. Like, she's missing too. But he said it in like
order of importance.
Kind of laughing. He's like, guns, bank bag. And then there's just this long pause. And he's like, and my wife. Like, I don't know if y'all want to mention that. I mean, get the guns back first. But if y'all find my wife anywhere near the guns, y'all bring her back too.
I suppose.
I mean, I am getting hungry.
But if there ain't no bank bags, don't bother bringing her home.
Back, unless she's got groceries then. Because like I said, getting a little hungry. I'll kick her back out. Don't worry. She can go find them bank bags. But
I could eat.
She said that these bank bags had items related to their rental properties because Pauline owns a lot of land in the area and has a bunch of apartments and farm things and all sorts of shit that she rents out to people. Yeah. That's how she makes her living.
At first, I wasn't worried about his tone in the phone call because I don't.
He's an old calm farmer that wears overalls.
But I don't figure anybody in the South is ever worried whenever they call the police because they go, Hello, 911. Yeah, I'd like to report.
That's exactly how he sounds.
I don't feel scared because I'm holding a shotgun. So
he's just like, just got home. Yeah. Things are missing. Like, he was just very calm.
While I was out, I had guns with me anyway.
I always do, obviously. I mean, he said that he just laughed about it, which was really weird.
That's bizarre.
They called out the cops. A Corporal Wagoner from the Washington County Sheriff's Office came out to the property here. Bob said, I've been gone since a few days ago. I was on a truck driving assignment. He's a fireman truck driver who wears overalls all the time. Yeah. He's not a stereotype or anything.
No, not at all.
Old Bob here. He said when he arrived that night, he said there were vehicles at the house and the door was locked, so that's normal. Just walked up like everything was fine.
Yeah.
Then he gets in the house, shit's missing.
Yeah.
Bank bags, guns. My wife. I mean, like I said, she just, who knows what happened to her. Right. But them guns, that's a family heirloom.
Y'all could find those.
My grandpappy gave that to me.
I got all the numbers written down here. Do you have your wife's cell phone number?
I don't know.
Maybe it's in my phone.
What color eyes does your wife have? Now, that one Remington, it's a real nice one. It's got a walnut stock barrel, so you're going to really have to be careful if you do that. Don't chip it because it's got I think green. I don't know. So, he says
she had walnut stock eyes.
Is that a thing? You know anything about that? Y'all know what I mean now? I feel like that's very popular around this area.
Her eyes matched the grain in the wood on the .45 pistol.
Did I tell you to really concentrate on them guns? Because that's really what I'm concerned with now. So he said that, he gets home. He said he opens the door. He said he sees shit missing. And then the real weird thing is there's bullet holes in the wall. That's not normal.
Well, where did that information come?
He said, just noticed that. He's like, fuck, I've been looking around. I noticed the guns are gone and shit. There's bullet holes all over these walls. I don't know. Real calm about it. I guess there's bullet holes there. I don't know. He said last time he talked to his wife, Pauline, was that morning. He said, I don't know what happened. I just went trucking and I'm back now and bullet holes, shit's gone. My wife's gone. I don't know what's going on now.
So I called y'all. Y'all can figure it out.
I don't know, Bob Dale. That's right. Hey, it's funny that none of us are Asian, but we all say we are. Ain't that funny? I just liked it. It's a good sense of community. I like it. It's pretty funny. These guys.
Like how we all came together and really fucked the census.
Oh, we did. We fucked it all up. They have no idea what's going on now. There's two jackasses sitting out somewhere in the desert talking about they don't think there's Asians everywhere. Everywhere. You can't even get an egg roll in this town. They gonna think. You can't get one anywhere. You can go to of course you go to Benton and get an egg roll, but we ain't anywhere near Benton now, are we? Fayetteville got egg rolls.
It's 3 damn hours to
Come on
Phillips.
now. Jesus. So, I know Cincinnati. Don't even bring that up now. Since a who? What? There's another one?
I've been trucking all day just to get me a fortune cookie.
it's that bad. Nobody knows that.
Forget about wontons.
Oh man! So he lists the shit that's missing: the guns, the bank bag, his wife. Also, his wife's recliner is missing, which is an odd thing to take.
You usually don't take that with you.
You take bank bags and you take guns because those are things of value that you could, bank bags might have money, and guns you can sell cheap. You can sell for cash quickly, obviously, in a black market situation. But a used recliner, that's an odd take.
They strap that to the top of the car.
First of all, it's 2 people. It's not one guy.
Yeah.
It's 2 people, and then they had to hook it going out the door, which is God damn it, Jesus Christ, my back's hurting.
It's why they make the back fucking separate now.
I'm not physically cut out for crime. I'm having a hard time with this. So, wife's recliner.
I thought we were stealing guns, not moving.
What are we doing here? This is ridiculous. So, the sheriff's detective there, our sheriff's officer, Wagner, noticed that there is 2...
Min or Chin?
Wagner.
Chin Wagner?
Chin Wagner. That's actually... Wagner's his first name.
Right.
His name is
Wagner Min.
His name Wagner Lim, actually, is his name. I'm not sure. Jimmy, come on. Just assume it's Kim. It's fucking Lim. It's not his fault. So he noticed, even with his eyes the way they are, he noticed. No, I'm just kidding. Come on, like we could resist that. I just wanted Jimmy's head to explode. Come on, that's a cheap joke. We wouldn't make that
jokes always get me.
I knew it would. That's why I said it. I'm not going to finish it like it's a real joke, but I just wanted to make Jimmy's fucking that one vein pop out of his forehead when I start to worry about him. When it's a nice shade of magenta right now, though. I got to tell you guys, it's pretty amusing.
Oh, fucking good Christ.
So, Wagner here, in all seriousness, he notices 2 bullet holes in the windows and 2 bullet holes in a gun cabinet, which is odd that you'd shoot the gun cabinet.
Right.
Odd. And several drawers were emptied into the floor in one room, but the rest of the house appeared untouched.
Okay.
And no sign of forced entry whatsoever. On the patio, there's no blood. Because they say, like, if someone's going to be abducted, and there's bullet holes, and especially if it's someone like Pauline, who's not someone who would go quietly, you wouldn't just drag her out in a headlock.
No, you take her in her chair.
Yeah, that's what you do: strap her to her chair and drag her out. That's even harder to hook with her on it now. Damn it! But they're saying, she'd be fighting, so there's going to be someone's blood's going to be somewhere. There's going to be some sign of a struggle here, especially like on the outside, because there's this patio. Jesus Christ, Jimmy, this patio is cluttered with shit.
Of course it is.
It is the most stereotypical hillbilly fucking patio ever. There's like a shitload of propane tanks and a couple of engines and shit. It's fucking pots and those like fire things, but just shit everywhere. It looks like for the last 50 goddamn years they've been collecting shit on this fucking patio. It's just the worst. So he says that's odd. They found on the patio no blood, no scrape marks, no struggle indication. Wagner felt something wasn't right about the whole thing. Odd bullet holes and shit like that. He calls in his supervisor, who is a Detective Connor, and he also thought things were a little weird about that. Also living on the property in a trailer obviously is Pauline's daughter. It is her youngest child, her daughter, whose name is Dolores.
How old is she?
She is about 48 years old at this point.
Wow.
Yes, she is 48, and we'll talk about her story because she's got an interesting tale to her of how she ended up back here.
I figure
she's not the most upstanding young lady in the world. She's not a young lady either at 48. I think lady is a term you'd use loosely on her after what she does as as well, but we'll talk about her in a minute here.
All right.
So police, they said they keep following up. Pauline's just gone, and they're just like, well, I guess my wife's missing. I don't know. Like, there's nobody seems concerned about it. There's just no real like drive toward finding an answer to where she might be. But we better at least
take a gander and look, because if she comes back and finds out we didn't look, boy, she's going to be pissed.
She's going to be pissed.
She's going to be mad.
It's going to be
There's going to be a few more bullet holes around here.
You thought them tornadoes were bad. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what. You ain't
seen. Give it a good gander.
You ain't seen Hurricane or Tornado Pauline come through here, because she going to tear your asshole apart.
Give this town a once over.
That's a different kind of tear up now. So he calls in these people, and I just love this, dude. These two guys, these two detectives, are a detective and this officer. They're sitting there, and they're like, okay. So they go to this farm, and there's bullet holes.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? You got this fat farmer with his fucking overalls, bullet holes.
Yeah.
No struggle. My wife's gone, I guess.
No blood and bullet holes. That's weird.
Guns and bank bags missing, which that's consistent with a robbery.
Right.
The recliner's strange, and they keep coming back to the recliner. Also, the cops are like, "Why is the recliner gone?"
Right.
I don't.
Was it lined with money?
That's what they're.
Was it made of bank bags?
They're very confused, and the recliner's like kind of the sticking point of this case. Where, because sometimes you get like these detectives, like there'll be a case where it's just one thing. They're like, I have to resolve that before I can put this on the shelf.
That's for sure going to be the piece that makes the whole picture come to focus.
In the David Simon homicide book, there's this guy, a detective, and he's talking about he spent like 6 hours in a crime scene, but made all the medical guys wait and everything because something wasn't right about this lady hung herself, and something wasn't right about the placement of the slippers, and he spent like 6 hours figuring out why it was like that before he could go, okay, it's a suicide, and before he felt okay about it, because he had to figure out, okay, she took her slipper off with one foot and then wrapped the other one, blah, 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 and that's how it would fall. But he had to like figure it out, and I feel like you'd have to be like, how does that recliner fit into this? Like, what piece of this fucking puzzle does that recliner
fill? That's a crazy job, because you've got to actually mentally see the thing happen in reverse with no video. You know what I mean?
No
that's
video.
Crazy.
You have to think if this happened, that happened, and that would be there. It's just this logical progression,
and you've got to do it all on estimates of like how that would bounce versus where. It's crazy.
It's all playing, wiffle ball and losing something in the woods, and you're like, if it hit that rock, then it would have bounced over to this direction, and then it should be by this bush. It's all that except with dead people, which is much more difficult.
If you look at the Columbine footage of those two boys lying in the library, and you had to guess how they shot themselves just on sight of that, you're out of your fucking mind. And reading how they actually did it, or how they theorized they did it, and they're pretty goddamn sure how they did it. Then you can see how it just reading how they actually did it, and then looking at the bodies, and you're like, oh yeah, of course,
obviously,
absolutely.
That's and these homicide guys, an experienced homicide guy, they're pretty good like that. They can walk in and pretty much. There's a million little telltale things where they're like, okay, if this wasn't that, it would be. It's really. But
I don't know him, so looking at a picture, I go, that's fucked up. I don't want to see that.
It's funny too. Little things like there's little things where they check to see if shit's been staged. Also, where's the what kind of rigor are they in? Would they be? It's really interesting. That's why that homicide book is amazing.
If you got a strong stomach and you could be around a dead body like that. Good, but
oh man, and sometimes too they talk about
couldn't do it.
no. When you hear some of them, like if they find somebody who's been there for a while and they're like, oh man, the ME's got to roll them and they might pop. And you're like, oh my god, because they're swell. You're like, holy shit, like that sort of thing, and the maggots and there's a lot of gross things in bodies.
So fast,
especially like in a hot place in the summer. And like, they'd find it like in Baltimore. This was Baltimore. That book, they'd find a body in Leakin Park, and where they found him and Lee, the serial the poor girl who got killed, and they based Serial on. Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Another, you know what? The funny thing is, she moved here from Arkansas because she's Asian. So that's obviously
what it is.
I'm
clearly.
just kidding. So anyway, they'd say bodies, the decomps are bad. It's bad stuff, and the worst is fires. They say the worst. That's the worst of all, or fire deaths. Like that sounds horrible. I wouldn't want to do that. To go out to get called in at 2:00 in the morning to go look at some like a charred child, and I can't fucking do that.
I saw the crime scene footage of that Travis Alexander that Jodi Arias killed.
Yeah,
and it was, within days. of his murder, and the dude looked like he'd
it's horrible.
been out for years.
What I do now is bad enough.
Yeah.
Like I see these fucking pictures all the time because I got to describe it to you. Yeah, well, I need to describe it to you guys, so I click through pictures and look through the shit, and it's believe me, this is disturbing enough. I couldn't imagine if I had to be there
actually on site,
and then also talk to this person's family and tell them. That's the thing that the worst in the homicide book they talked to is like, when they found a dead 11-year-old girl, and then they had to go knock on the door and tell the fucking mother that. I don't know how you do that. I don't even know how the fuck you do that. Like that's a whole. So you have to be tough and do all this, and then you also have to have this other gear where you can go to, a mother who's wanting their child and tell them that it's bad news and be able to sort of console them and still get information out of them. Like that's a crazy. That's a very skillful position.
You got to do that deadpan. Like straight
it's incredible.
Face.
No, you have to have a bedside manner. That's fucking incredible.
I couldn't do it.
That's why the homicide detectives are kind of the upper echelon of
and weirdos.
Yeah, they're a little You got to be kind of smart.
Yeah.
They got to. It's a different. It's
you
a different.
Detach from everything.
It's a different level. Yeah, it's a. You do. That's.
I'm
one
sure the
thing.
hugs with your family are super warm.
Well, that's why you get the terrible. That's why you get horrible dark humor and shit like that. And that's why we get messages from cops saying they like the show because they like dark humor. You know what I mean? People like that
because they can laugh about the shit that they have to deal with.
They're like, we laugh about that shit all the time because there's nothing else you can do about it, and we have to see it. So anyway, they say all the investigators that follow up, they keep following up. Any leads they get, they follow up, but they said they never get like an indication that she took off. Like there's no preparation for her taking off. There's no indication of her just going somewhere. That's not her nature. All of her friends said that's not how she is. She has a million responsibilities and she's all about money. And we'll find out also what she's got a habit of doing that she wouldn't go far. We'll find out here in a second. Also, he talked about the bullet holes. The cops are talking about the bullet holes, which they thought were really weird. They right away, that was the thing that was a red flag also. No recliner, bullet holes, no blood.
And in windows.
In windows, like shooting through the windows. The investigator said that, quote, we thought it was staged the minute we pulled up. It didn't make any sense. It was too staged. That's what the lead investigator said. Like as soon as they walked up, that was like gut feeling this is not right. There's something weird here. They said the one sheriff's department representative said, quote, that's the problem. We don't know where she's at. And her husband said that there's not a reason for her to be gone and nobody knows where she's at. So that's who they chose to speak for their department. That's the problem. We don't know where she is at. And her husband said that there's not reason for her to be gone and nobody knows where she is at. That's out of the whole police department. That's who they chose. That's
guy. The best one.
They're like, well, he opens his mouth a little bit when he speaks, so we don't know where she's at.
He enunciates at.
They said, that's the problem. We don't know where she's at, and the press was like, shit. That's why we're fucking talking to you. Otherwise, what are we talking about? What are we asking what you had for lunch?
Lady? Yeah, we don't know where she's at.
What's fucking weird, man. So, what's the deal with Dolores and Pauline and all this sort of thing? Okay, we'll find out a little bit of backstory here. Pauline had 4 kids with her first husband back in the day. She has a lot of property that she inherited from her parents. So she's got all this property.
So Bob Dale's a stepdad to 4 kids.
Yes, but they're grown by the time Bob Dale's around. Hundreds and hundreds of acres of property and rental properties. And this is how she makes her living. She's got a lot of money. They had, from what everyone described, a bit of an idyllic life here. It was the 4 kids, 3 boys, and then Dolores is the only girl, and she's the youngest.
Black sheep.
So, and she's also the youngest, too. So it's kind of
baby.
She's the baby, and she's the one who has a couple of problems. And we'll find out some things that are not her fault happen to her that are kind of shitty, and you're like,
Backwoods, Arkansas, weird.
Oh, weird. Not what you think would happen, actually. Getting out of Backwoods, Arkansas was the bad thing for her somehow.
Really?
It's a weird thing. But so they had this life that everybody they were all jealous of them as like they were like the perfect kind of family, everybody thought. Until Pauline, everybody says, and this is her friends, everybody, people who like her, say, Pauline's great. She's tough, though. She's difficult to deal with sometimes. Like, I wouldn't want to have to be in business with her or married to her or working for her or Like, if you run into her down at the feed shop, if you see her in aisle 4 at a Piggly Wiggly, she's fun to talk to for a minute, but then you hit the fuck out of there and get back to your farm.
I wouldn't want to be married to her, be business with her.
That's right.
I don't want to be around this woman.
Anything
when
where
I said hello to her once, she said hello.
She's fine, but if she said hello back. She nodded. It wasn't audible, but she nodded. That's hello, good enough for me. So that's how she is, though. She's just tough to deal with, and that's what everybody thinks. She's just really difficult to deal with, and anything that she is that, like a business, a marriage, children, that sort of thing, she's going to be in charge. Okay. Any situation she can be in charge of, she's going to be in charge. She's going to fucking control it, and she's just a tough lady. Yeah. She grew up on a goddamn farm in Arkansas, and her parents raised her to be tough, and she's a tough-ass lady. But that's not the easiest person to be married to, lady or man, if they're that way. Yeah. That can be difficult. So Pauline ends up breaking up with her first husband over just general, they didn't get along. Pauline breaks up with him. He takes the 3 boys with him and moves to Texas. What? Which is super strange that they would break the kids up like that. That's very, very odd. I guess he takes the boys and Dolores stays with Pauline in Arkansas. Okay. So now the family's broken up. Even the siblings are broken up. Yeah. All I can think is it's like, back in the 70s, maybe they were like, well, you know how to raise boys and she's a girl and I'll teach her about
her period
I'll teach her about her period and what to do with braids and shit. Right. And you teach them not to rape people. Right. Or it's Texas to rape people, however y'all do things down there. So,
you teach them how to wax their carrot, and I'll teach her how to change her oil.
All right, deal. Break. And then they go. He took off in his truck. She took off in her truck. Separate ways. Right. Like a Journey song. So she stays there. As a teenager, there's some problems in the home with Pauline and Dolores. Okay. Namely, they don't get along at all.
Right. Because she has to spend time around her. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Pauline she's upset that it's hard because the kid's upset that the father left. Right. Which this is what I mean. It's not her fault that her parents broke up and her dad moved away with her brothers to Texas, which is, there's no good situation for her here because if she stays here with her mother, then they left her here. Right. But then if her mother says, yeah, you should be with your siblings and sends her, then she got rid of her. So there's really no...
Either way, it's abandonment.
Her psyche's fucked either way on this whole thing here. But they don't get along at all. Yeah. Dolores is very rebellious. She's very wild. And Pauline is ultra super controlling. Yeah. So this is just oil and water. Yeah. They fight. Finally, Pauline's had enough. And she says, I can't take it anymore. I'm sending you to live with your father in Texas. So she sends this kid to live with her dad in Texas. This is where Dolores is pissed. Okay. She goes off the deep end. She feels like her mother abandoned her, and that's the end of the story. Mm-hmm. Mom fucking got rid of me because I'm a pain in the ass. Mm-hmm. So now I'll be a real pain in the ass, and
or now I can do whatever I want.
Now I can do whatever I want. I'm the little girl. I don't know what her train of thought was, but she was super, super upset. And like I said, I don't blame her. Yeah, I don't blame. As someone who, and for my own good or whatever it was, got shipped between parents across the country back and forth. You do feel like, did they not want me here, or is this am I going here because it's better, or because they don't want me anymore? Like, you feel like that as a kid, and it fucks you up.
And then far of a fucking trip,
and then you don't want to talk to people all the time, and you're more of then you end up like me. That's what fucking happens. End
up at 2 a.m. clicking through crime scene footage.
That's what you do. Yes, that's exactly right. That, and you go to 8 different schools, and be me. It's fun. So, we're disasters on the inside. I wish you guys
horrific. Knew. It's the worst.
The just fucking, it's barely held together.
The amount of emotional lack of support as a child, and the just trauma / fucking abandonment issues are so prevalent in my 30s.
And the shit that happened to us was nothing compared to some people.
Right.
There's people kids that get burned with cigarettes all the time and fucking
forced to eat their own vomit.
There's the horrible things.
It's terrible.
Anyway, this wasn't happening to this girl. Okay. But Dolores was super fucking wild. She's really into drugs as a teenager. Starts Just starts out drinking, smoking some weed, gets into some pills, that sort of thing. It's the 70s. I'm sure she's doing a little mescaline, dropping some acid, eating some mushrooms.
Party time.
Little couple of ludes, little quaaludes.
Party in Texas.
Like that. Yeah, but wee. So it was probably just beer and shit dirt weed. So she gets really into it.
Backseat of a Trans Am.
Oh, yeah, just loving it. Sticking your head out the T-top like a fucking asshole.
Let you win blown hair, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know you're going to have long hair. So she's known as a wild kid. She's a very wild kid. She goes out. She doesn't come home when she's supposed to. She comes home drunk. Yeah. She's an asshole, basically. Okay. As if you're a parent. You're like, you fucking girl.
What a dream.
I know. Jesus,
she's living the life.
She's living the life, yeah. She's living the life of a delinquent.
Right.
Problem is, this is pretty much how she lives her life for the next 20 years, Dolores.
That's not good.
No, she just gets deeper into drugs. Basically, she lives her life like a high school junior that dropped out and wants to do a lot of drugs. And she's like, I could do that at 32 much easier. That's better because I ain't got no parents telling me what to do. So she does this. She lives in Texas. Her drug problem, though, as she gets older, as she gets into her 30s, her drug and alcohol problem really start to... It's funny, too, because that's when shit catches up to people. Like, when you're, like, 26, unless you're, like, you have a huge problem, a lot of people can be cool with it. Yeah. But then when they hit their 30s and they start feeling it in their body, that's when they're like, I have a problem. It's like, you could recover when you're 24 if you had a terrible night. But when you're 37 and that happens
your heart
to you...
just starts doing like 50 beats a second.
Yeah, and you seriously consider calling an ambulance because you're having some adult fucking health problem right now that doesn't happen when you're 20. You don't even know that exists when you're 24. So it's just different.
Grocery store buying Salisbury steak, and then you go, I definitely have a problem.
That's you're like, not that.
What have I done?
No, what have I done? Well, that cherry shit's delicious, as we've talked about. But when you're in your 30s, though, that's when people start to hit rock bottom. That's when you get like, even Bubbles from the goddamn Wire got into that. He's like, you know what? I got to move into my sister's basement, get my shit clean, and try to get my shit together, hang out with Steve Earle, go to these meetings. Fuck it, never mind.
Steve Earle is in this show?
Yes. Steve Earle.
The country singer.
Yes.
Copperhead wrote Steve Earle.
He's in the fucking show.
Earle.
He's a very big character.
Oh, my God.
He's a very big character.
Oh, my God.
He's Bubbles' rehab mentor.
I love it.
And he's a former junkie, and he sings the theme song for the 5th season.
Oh, that's incredible.
Also. Yes, so you
Steve
should
Earle,
watch
Guitar Town.
Will this make you watch the show? Finally, after all this fucking time, tell you about Omar and Bubbles and Avon fucking Barksdale and Marlo and McNulty and Bunk and every other goddamn person on the face of the earth. I tell you, there's a fucking country singer in it, and you're like, oh, I'll watch it now. Steve Earle's in it, you motherfucker. Goddamn it, I wish I could reach you. I'd fucking strangle you with your microphone cord, you lousy bastard.
That's my guy.
Oh, that's awesome. No, he's really good in it, too.
He's amazing.
He's actually good in it, except his hair is a mess.
Really? Oh, I mean,
he's got like barely any hair on top, but it's still real long, and he just keeps it, and you're like, dude, that's...
Because he's still playing country concerts, and that shit sells, babe.
It does. He's got to have it, so...
His voice is fucked, though. He can't sing for shit.
It's been pretty fucked up for a while.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, he's smoked for so many fucking years. It's him and Bob Seger who
he looks like he looks like a fucked up Bob Seger in the show. That's what he looks like in the show. He's like, oh, Bubs. And every time he talks, like he gets like this, he's got like this kind of twitch. Like I sound just like him right now, actually, in the show, because he kind of sounds like that.
He might be from Arkansas.
Bubs, let me tell you something, Bubbles. And he'll like do this thing with his neck that you people can't see at home, but Jimmy can see right now. And that's exactly what he looks like. And I wish you watched the fucking show so you'd go, that's a perfect Steve Earle. So, hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Simply Safe.
SimplySafe.com with an I, James.
That's right. SIMPLI.
Right.
SAFE. In 2017, the Better Business Bureau heard more than 5,000 customer complaints about alarm companies.
What?
That puts home security in the top 10% of most complained about industries.
Is that right?
That's crazy, isn't it? I believe it, too.
Yeah.
Here's how you fix home security. You get rid of contracts. hidden fees. You work really hard to earn your customers' business instead of relying on tricks and fine print.
That makes sense.
That's it. And that's exactly what our friends over at Simply Safe have done. This is a company that treats you right. There's no contracts, nothing hidden. They're not trying to mess you over. How rare is that? How rare is that today, a company that relies on good service and a great product to earn your business?
That's crazy.
Rocket science, isn't it? And they figured it out. Good job. I've known Simply Safe and known about Simply Safe for a long time. We have here. They are good people over there. They have a really, really good product. You will sleep safer at night knowing that your home is protected by the people over at Simply Safe. It's why they've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau for 10 years running. And there are over 40,000 5-star reviews online for Simply Safe. Simply Safe is what security should be. You're getting the best protection, period. Visit simplysafe.com/small. That is simplysafe.com/small to sleep better at night and protect your family.
Simplysafe.com/small. Get in there, protect your family. And now back to the show.
Going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about TrueCar.
TrueCar.com.
What is MSRP?
It's confusing. That's what it is.
It's exactly what it is. If you're looking to buy a car, you're probably familiar with terms like MSRP. You might even know what it stands for, but what does it actually mean? Same goes for invoice, list price, dealer price. It's enough to confuse anybody. All you really want, all you really need is a price that actually means something to you, the buyer. Introducing True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know exactly what you'll pay for the car you want, including fees and accessories, before you even get to the dealership. TrueCar dealers will show you the true price on cars like the one you want, all from the comfort of home. And how do you know if your true price is a great price? Because TrueCar shows you what all the other people paid for the same car you want. And your certified dealers know this, and so they set their true price competitively so they can win your business. So when you're ready to buy a new or used car, great site for used cars. Once you register, you'll see real pricing on actual inventory. This is competitive pricing offered to you only by a TrueCar certified dealer for an actual vehicle on their actual lot. It's pricing you'll see before going to a dealership so you can feel confident when you show up. TrueCar customers are more likely to enjoy a faster buying process when they connect with TrueCar certified dealers, while they save an average of over $3,000 off MSRP.
What a deal.
So let me tell you this from us. When you're ready to buy, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states.
Yes, that's true. But go to TrueCar.com to find out. And now back to the show.
Anyway,
all right.
She's there. She starts, as she goes into it, she starts getting deeper into pills, alcoholic, all of this shit. 1997, she's 38 years old and still into all this shit in Texas. Her family actually has an intervention with her, like family and friends down there have like a big intervention, Texas style, which is just everybody around grunting and nodding at you until somebody goes, you know what y'all been doing, and then that's the end of it. It's not a very emotional thing. They don't talk about their feelings. They just go, yeah, you know what y'all did. Right. So they talk to her. We heard
what you been doing.
So they figure the only thing she can do to get clean, the only thing that's going to work for this girl, for this lady, for this woman, she's 38 years old, is to move back to Arkansas with her mother.
That's the problem.
That's going to be the one. Okay. I don't know if they actually think that. Well, her mom does live on a farm in the middle of nowhere, so they're thinking maybe if we get her out of this, she has friends and she goes out to the bars, and she does. Maybe if we get her away from this to a rural farm somewhere, and maybe that'll clean her up, like, I don't know, some sort of Montel Williams boot camp situation.
I don't remember black tar heroin being back in Cincinnati.
You know, either that or she's such a fucking pain in the ass that they were just like, oh, it'd be so much better for you back there. Just like, so much better. Y'all
she got evicted from Texas.
Yeah, just
an order from the mayor.
We all sat down and had a talk. No, we decided against the Asian census thing. We ain't gonna do that as a whole state. That'd be weird. That'd be super weird.
That'd be bizarre.
But what we are gonna do is ship your ass on out of here.
The hell out.
Send you to Western Arkansas. Enjoy. So they talk her into moving back there.
And that was the governor.
That was the governor. That's what I mean. That's the top spokesman in the entire state, right there. The
guy that pardons people speaks
that's the one.
that.
Yeah, like he shits where he fucking. He shits outdoors.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So they talk her into moving back with her mother and Bob DeVore.
Okay.
That's who because now her mother has
She's married
married Bob DeVore.
Right.
Bob Dale. Bob Dale is her fourth husband.
My Christ.
She's gone through some marriages because she has a fiery temper and she doesn't take any shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's difficult to deal with or if she marries bums or who the fuck knows. But
Well, maybe she was just born in the wrong era.
that's what it is. So she's she's has a hard time with relationships because she's very independent, and I feel like in that area and that maybe the men would want to control her a little bit, and she ain't having that shit whatsoever.
No.
So good for you, Pauline. So Pauline finds Bob, fourth husband. They met when he does some work on a rental property that she owns. She makes her living with the rentals and the tenants and all this type of shit. She drives around in her pickup. She's got this big, country pickup, extended cab, big giant pickup that
Big
she drives.
diesel.
Yeah, that's exactly right. One of those big bad sons of bitches there. She drives this truck. No one's allowed to drive this truck but her.
Yeah.
This is goddamn Pauline's truck. You stay the fuck away from it. Don't mess with her presets.
Yep.
She's got Christian radio.
Yep.
She's got the talk radio.
Right.
She lacks a Motown oldies station though. She don't let nobody know that, but when she's alone, she cranks it up and she's like, "Oh, I like the Supremes." So you know how it goes. So she's got secrets, you know what I mean? Secrets, this old lady. But yeah, she goes around and personally with her truck once a month goes around and collects all her rents.
Really?
So you see this tough old broad at your doorstep, it's fucking rent paying time.
We'll mail you a check. No, I'll be here pick it up.
Oh no, I'll be there on the 1st to get it from you.
Don't worry, I'll be a
And
knocking.
You better have her rent. That's the thing. Like you don't fuck around with her money. And they talked about like she'd have people working for her on the farm, and she just berates these guys. She has like these big, farmhand guys, and she's like, "How stupid are you? You don't know how to do anything. You dumb."
Wow.
Calling them dummies and shit. Like just not a pleasant woman to work for.
Yeah.
But she's exacting. She wants what she wants, and in that era too. And when she grew up, you had to be tough. I assume to be a woman who was like in charge of shit and owning a bunch of shit in a rural area like that, you had to be twice as tough.
You had
probably.
to be Marge Schott.
You had to be the fabulous Moolah, basically.
Right.
It was, That's what you had to be. There. Right. Pauline, the reason why it's odd for her to disappear is she needs to collect her rents. And she doesn't fuck around with money, like we said. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is a lot of times when she's done collecting her rents, she heads right over to the casino. To gamble. Now, she wins sometimes. Sometimes she wins large sums of money because she gambles large sums of money.
She's gambling people's rent checks.
She's gambling a lot of money. Like she'll lose 5, 10, 15,000 at a pop. Sometimes she'll win 15,000, but sometimes she'll lose 15,000. And as we all know, if you go to the casino constantly, at the end of the year, you're going to find that you didn't win. Right. That's why there's casinos. Right. That's why they're in fucking business because that just isn't going to happen.
And
the more you're going,
fucking amazing in Vegas.
The odds are on their side. That's why they exist. Right. That's why if you keep going and going, if you go once and get lucky, yay, you won. Run away. That's it. Get out of that because you're going to lose eventually. And she does. She loses a lot of money. Okay. This is multiple times a week she's going to the casino. So it's a lot of money, and it's getting to be a problem where, Bob even talks to her about it. Like, hey, I know it's like your money and everything, but we're kind of, saving for our retirement, and you're kind of pissing away thousands of dollars at a time.
We're on the same team.
To where she is not going to take kindly to that at all. You fucking tell her not to gamble her fucking money away. She'll gamble whatever the hell she goddamn well pleases, and she's not taking any shit from Bob here. So Bob just puts his overalls on, shrugs his shoulders, gets in his truck, and fucking drives away.
All right.
Gets in his big rig, and there he goes. So she goes there. So this their property is a 270-acre farm, like we said. It's a lot of pasture land, tons of land with a house right in the middle. Okay. It's like right in the middle of the land. It's not on the edge or anything like that. And then the trailer's kind of on the edge of the land, not right by the house here. Now, Bob is considered a very hard worker. He's a farmer also, and people in the the area. Say, he's not a slacker.
Right.
Not like that lazy bastard Bob. You wouldn't want him helping in your field. Like,
he's out there farming.
Bob, his overall. Have you seen his overalls?
They are dirty as shit.
Them some farming overalls now. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what. So he's a member of the Arkansas Cattlemen's Association.
Oh, my God. That is as southern as it gets.
That's the Arkansas Cattlemen's Association. He's the president of the Siloam Springs Riding Club.
Okay.
I guess riding horses, I hope. Cows, bulls.
Yeah. Fucking riding.
Goats. I don't know what they're riding.
You get something
this
4
isn't
legs
Rouleau.
that eats hay, I'll fucking ride it.
I'll fucking ride it. I'm the president of riding that shit. You see you can take my business card? There it is.
Give a fuck what it is. If it eats hay, I'll ride it.
And then he is this I'm actually close to my heart because this is my old job.
Yeah.
On the board of directors for the Ozark Junior Rodeo Association for a number of years. So that's he took my spot. That's what it is. Or I took his actually after he retired. I said, I'll get in there, Bob. Don't you worry about that. No one cares more about junior rodeo in the Ozarks than your guy right here.
It's true.
I'm telling you that right now. I am
Until
Mr.
that
Ozark
season,
Rodeo.
when the grasshoppers come in, James is out of town that week.
Once the plague comes, I tend to leave.
Yeah.
Bob is a fisherman. He likes to ride horses, hence the riding, and also he's got a couple motorcycles he likes to dick around with, that sort of thing. Yeah, he owned a bunch of businesses in the area also, and he's a truck driver and a farmer. And Pauline, they're very, they're making something of themselves. Yeah, they're really they're into the business and they're
James,
into
what
money.
You're looking for is American.
No,
that's what they are.
No, we're looking for a different word than that. So I didn't say they were overweight or racist, did I? I don't think I remembered saying that. So. If we can't laugh at ourselves, who can we laugh at? People in other countries are like, yeah, good, they got themselves. Everyone here is like, hey, dicks, fuck
take
you.
Take it easy. I'm not racist.
We're exactly
right. That's
hey, I'm not that fat, so it's all right. America is a trailer park. We know that. We live here, and we're all members of the trailer park. So we're all we can all take shots outside. Doesn't matter. We're all in the tent, and we're pissing out of it.
I could use a treadmill or a couple laps in our community pool.
It's fine. Exactly. So Dolores ends up moving back into this home with Bob, and they're older. I mean, they're 60 years old here. This is 1997.
Yeah.
She's like 38. Her mom's like 60.
Yeah.
And Bob's an older guy too. Yeah. And they haven't had any kids around. I mean, Pauline's, all of her kids were gone.
Yeah.
Bob's just, they don't have. They've been living a different life, and now all of a sudden this other lady's here. She doesn't move in with them right away. Okay. And when she moves back to Arkansas, Dolores moves into one of the apartments that Pauline owns.
Gotcha.
I feel like it's like, let's keep her at arm's length for a minute and see if she's going to drive us crazy. Mm-hmm. She works for Pauline. Pauline owns several businesses. She works on the farm for Pauline and lives in one of these apartments, which sounds brutal.
That's better than Texas.
I was going to say, she's sitting there going,
How bad of a drug addict was she?
Drugs were kind of fun.
Right.
I was thinking back in Texas I
was smiling a lot.
It was better than this. I mean, I had to smile kind of tight because I lost all my teeth from the meth. But besides that, it's very, so she's working.
I remember showing my gums a lot.
I did. I was that happy.
And now it's a tight frown.
They're a shiny, nice pinkish red. Everybody thinks very complimentary toward my gum selection. Oh, I do.
I lost my teeth, but I'll brush the gum.
You need to stimulate the gum, Jimmy. That's the key. It's very important. So she's working for Pauline. Eventually, I don't know why. This seems like a backward step. I would feel eventually she ends up letting Pauline move into a trailer on the property, which seems like a backwards.
Yeah.
It seems like she'd go there and make her live on the trailer and the property.
Yeah.
Then when she proved herself to not be a fuck up, she'd say, I'll let you stay at one of my apartments so you have your own space and but it's the opposite
kind
for
of like
some reason.
Narcotics Anonymous step.
It's a halfway house space. This trailer's a halfway house to your own
step to your own life.
To your own shitty apartment that I own. So it's really that'll be a 3/4 house. And then from there you can move on to having your own place in your 40s. That'd probably be best for you, I think, at that point. Maybe have a life.
Instead, they put her they give her a job making money, but you're going to be paying that money back to me on the first every month.
I'll be there knocking. You'll be on my rounds.
Get your paycheck back.
So, So they don't get along, though, still. This whole time, they never get along. It's still Pauline is bossy, and Dolores is very D. They call her D. Yeah. D is very rebellious, and she resents the shit out of Pauline. Yeah. And she says that. that. She tells Pauline, you fucking abandoned me. You sent me away. Like, she's upset about that.
I'm a drug-riddled adult
Look
mess
at me.
because of you.
Look at what happened to me because of whatever situation you caused.
And now I'm 38 and I'm moving back in with you because of you.
Yeah, and her, the father, whatever, not me. I didn't cause this. If Dee's just thinking, I was a kid, I didn't cause any of this. So anyway, but at some point when you're in your 30s,
take responsibility.
You have to take responsibility for your own fucking life.
But in her psychotic mess.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's all that's going on in there. So she's clean though.
Yeah.
She does stop drinking, stop doing drugs while she's doing this. She's working on the farm. She's probably exhausted. She gets back to the trailer at the end of the night from working on the farm. She's probably like, "Phew, Jesus Christ, no thanks on the whatever you got there.
Yeah.
No, thank you." But she ends up finding some room for friends. She befriends a woman named Monica Bautista, who's she's originally from Mexico. She lives in the area. They hang out together because they have common interests. They both like to smoke meth.
Oh.
So they're going to smoke meth together. So yeah, that's nice.
At first I thought it was because she was progressive.
No.
And she liked to have some extra culture.
They do. No. Yes, she's very much, she really was learning how to make a good tortilla was the thing. She's very much into the cuisine of Mexico.
And the soft foods.
That's what she liked. Yes, very soft, because you can make those soft. She said, I would like a soft taco.
You don't know how Monica boils down the rice and makes it super soft.
That's with them tamales, boy, that melts right in your mouth. Boy, let me tell you something.
That matzah really just slides down the gullet.
No, they don't do art together. They don't sculpt together. They haven't started a small, a bicycle shop in town, nothing like that. They just hang out. Just smoking meth.
All right.
Just smoking meth. And Monica is especially a valuable friend to have and a trustworthy friend for Dee. Dee trusts her very much because Monica's her meth dealer.
Yeah.
She sells her the meth. So, that's nice.
She's in tight with her boss, with her meth dealer.
It's amazing. Yeah. And it's pretty it's weird because Bob is upset with Pauline. At this point, she's smoking meth in the trailer after farming. Bob and Pauline are fighting over the gambling.
Money,
So it's kind of getting a little chaotic. In this, Bob ends up making an ally in Dolores they complain about the mother.
Oh, boy.
They complain about Pauline. He says she's spending all the money. Yeah. And then the daughter says she's a fucking bitch and I hate her and isn't she awful and all this sort of thing. He goes on these trucking trips. He starts to take Dolores along with him on these trucking trips.
Yeah, because it's easier to drive when you're on meth.
Well, that's the thing there. And it's funny because how would she afford meth working on the farm and not having any money?
Right.
She would afford meth because it's a very strange thing. Neighbors start to hear weird rumors that they think overall Bobdale is fucking Dolores.
Oh, no.
So there's rumors of this. Whenever they're alone together or away together, everybody that's seen them, she always calls him Daddy.
Oh, God.
In a creepy way.
That's vile.
She met him when she was 38 years old.
Eesh.
She didn't know him before that.
No.
She didn't move to 1997.
Right.
So this is a few years after. This is 2003, 2004. This sort of shit is going on. So every time that they would go on a trip together, which was often, he would give her a couple $100.
Yeah.
Which was for fucking.
Yeah.
He would be like, well, I'll take care of you a little bit here. And then she would have meth money.
Wow.
So she's fucking Farmer Bobdale for meth money on the road.
Wow.
And you get the added bonus of
incest.
Well, obviously that's a bonus. You get the added bonus of sticking it in her mom's face of, I'm fucking your husband now. Even though, Jimmy, I can't describe this man. He is picture an old farmer.
Yeah.
He's an old, white-haired, crew-cut, bald, droopy-faced. His face looks like a chicken. He's just like a fat chicken. He's a roly-poly man wearing fucking overalls everywhere.
Banging his stepdaughter.
And he's banging away. And for him, he's like, this is great. She's 20 years younger.
Yeah.
She's showering attention on him. It's ridiculous.
Her eye skin's where it belongs.
It's wonderful. I love it. You just hit her arms and they don't move for too long. That's what happens. It ain't like a pendulum, like her mom.
I can't even see that pink meat under the wax.
It's amazing. So this is the whole backstory. This is what's going on.
What the fuck?
This leads up to June of 2007, and Pauline goes missing. Okay. So little backstory of what's happening here.
Did Bob divulge this information to Lieutenant Wagner?
No, he didn't. As a matter of fact, he held the stepdaughter fucking and meth money giving
real
back.
Close to the chest.
He held that one back to the chest. All he really told them is, I don't know. Shrug my shoulder. I came home, bullet holes, shit's missing.
Gone.
Wife's gone. I don't know.
But I got some information right here in my chest pocket that you
overall,
that I may not tell you.
Behind my Oshkosh or Big Osh label. Sorry. So the next day, cops come back. They're like, let's talk to them again after we talked to them the first. This seems odd here. And they record an interview with Bob where Bob relates his truck driving shit. He's like, we were a truck driver. Went from Wednesday to Friday. He said that he met his stepdaughter, Dee, at a casino in Oklahoma for dinner on Thursday night. He said she asked him to meet her for dinner in Oklahoma at a casino Thursday night. So he went. That was the only time last time he talked to his wife was Thursday morning. Has dinner with Dee Thursday night.
Got it.
He said that Dee was back at the ranch when he returned Friday night to find the missing guns and recliner and all that shit. Right. Dee was at the time, she's living at the trailer, obviously. He said that Bob tells the cops, he's like, well, I don't know what happened, but my only theory on it is I believe someone must have hit Pauline on the head and taken her. And they're like, what? Why would you say that? And he's like, that's just all I could think of. And they're like, well, that's an odd thing. Not she ran away, she did this. I don't know, somebody dragged her off. I think someone hit her on the head, and the very specific, and then dragged her off. And
there's no way that they shot her in the chest and wrapped her in a tarp and buried her in a creek or nothing.
I don't think that would happen.
I would guess hit on the head.
I wouldn't say they went deep into the woods with a small backhoe, dug a large hole, put her in it, put some stuff on top of it, and then put leaves on top so the earth don't look disturbed. I don't think they did that. I'm just gonna say I think just hit her on the head and dragged her is what I'm on.
Quick whack and then
just
drive.
a quick one to drive. So that's his theory here. Now, when they're talking to everybody, Dee is also there. She says she doesn't know shit. She said, I don't know, I was on the fucking trailer smoking meth. I got a lot of shit going on. I have no idea what's happening here.
Was over. She's making that rice.
You know how it's delicious, guys. So good. So y'all got teeth? Because even if you don't, you do. Never mind. So she was there, but she's not. They don't really think much of her. They're just like, she said she doesn't know anything, and they just, all right, let's concentrate on Bob here. He seems the most suspect.
He has the theory.
He has a theory on it. Fucking Officer Bob here. Right. Two of his guns end up being recovered that Sunday, June 17th, from a guy named Bill Underwood, and also a stolen truck was left on his property.
Okay.
Underwood says, this guy, Bill Underwood, says that Dee delivered him the guns Saturday and said that she was driving her truck, Pauline's truck.
The one nobody else drives.
Which had also been reported stolen once she left. And at that point, the cops, once they heard that, they're like, we need to talk to a little more to this Dee person, because this guns are missing, but they're not missing because she has them. Right. And then she also has her truck, which is supposed to not be around. Right. So this is a strange thing. Let's talk to her.
They are idiots. They dropped...
Yeah,
they got rid of the evidence in the town of 900 people.
That's nuts. I just gave it to another guy. Right. Like, here, hold this. So this is Dolores Eggert is her name, the daughter, by the way. I don't think we mentioned that yet. Like, she brought these firearms here. She asked him to keep these guns here, this Underwood guy. She told him that her mother was missing and that her mother's home had been burglarized. She said the cash had been taken, and she said these guns belonged to Bob, and that Bob didn't want them around the house because these aren't the stolen guns. Right. He's saying Bob doesn't want these around the house now. Okay. These particular two guns,
just these ones.
You don't want these to get stolen because they're going to get.
They'll come back.
Everybody comes back. Right. Once you find a place with guns, it's like a cat that finds a bowl of food outside your door. They're just going to keep coming back, picking up more guns. Because they know you're just going to keep replacing them in that gun cabinet.
It's like when you get meth, you go right back to where you got the meth.
Right back for more. So
You know where the meth is.
Yeah. So it's at this point they're like, let's look into this D a little bit. Let's figure out what her story is. And they do find out. They don't have to look very far because they just look into their own police files, and they find out that Pauline, or Polly as they always called her, filed a police report on June 12th. 2007, which is 3 days before the 911 call, stating that someone had stolen her credit card and charged about $1,500 in cash advances between June 10th and 12th. So right away she gets on that shit. That someone is D, and an arrest warrant is issued for D on June 21st. Okay. After that, they follow up on this whole thing for theft by receiving concerning the stolen truck and the guns, and they found out about like we said, about the credit card thing too, which is a separate deal. So they go to arrest D for this, for the receiving the truck and the guns thing, and they can't find D. She's gone. Yeah. She's taken off. Where the fuck does a meth head with no money and an affair with her stepfather take off to? It's not like she has a lot of options. I wouldn't imagine. She's not like south of France. No. I don't think, like, living it up.
It's either Texas or West Arkansas, or maybe
she hiding.
Hiding under the covers of Billy Bob's, what is his name? Dale Billy?
Bob Dale.
Jesus Christ.
If you just stay in the Piggly Wiggly and move around and they don't see you, they turn all the lights off. You can just sleep there.
Just walk down another aisle.
They close at 10.
And then go snuggle into the bathroom stall.
You get a good night's rest. Right. What I do is I get some paper towels and use them as a pillow. Now that's what you do.
If they're the big, thick ones.
Oh, you use them as a blanket. You use them as a blanket now. Let's not get crazy. So they speak to Bob again once they're looking for D. They're like, you know anything about where D is, maybe? Right. And he says he has no idea where D was. He said he has heard rumors that she could possibly be in Mexico. This guy and his theories and fucking rumors. I love this guy's theories, and this one's hit on the head. She could be in Mexico. Right. Just spitballing. I love how just pulling out of my ass very specific things, pulling it right out of my ass. I love that so much. He says he heard rumors she may be in Mexico, which he thought maybe one of his daughters that knows her said that. Yeah. But he's not sure where he heard it, even though like a week has gone by. Right. And if you heard your stepdaughter had taken off and your wife is missing, and you were concerned about that at all, you might remember who told you she could possibly be in Mexico. Right. Ridiculous. He said he did not believe that Dee's disappearance had anything to do with his wife's disappearance. So it's separate incidents. You don't understand. She's a crackhead, so separate incidents. She could disappear at any point, anytime.
She's stealing credit cards.
Mess.
Trucks, guns, she does meth. She's the type of girl that would fuck her stepdad.
I feel like that's who she is. No, not that I've been fucking her, but a different stepdad.
But I feel like I could.
She's had 2 other stepdads. He said that Bob again with his rumors, this fucking guy with his rumors. He said he heard rumors that his wife was in a fight with his biological daughters, not that that would be her stepdaughters, or this is great. Listen, I heard rumors that either she's fighting with my daughters, or I also heard rumors that she got shot. That's his new theory. He's taken from the bunk on the head and drag her away, or maybe one of my daughters took her, or she's been shot. I'm not sure.
He's not good at police work.
He's just like a psychic pulling shit out of his ass. Just like, I see a vision of my wife being shot by my daughter.
See, I was thinking that there was a bonk on the head, but it could have been a bullet.
That could have been a bullet. That's a bonk. Technically.
That's a hard bonk.
Technically, it's
real
a bonk.
Hard bonk.
Yeah, and the brains come out, and then that's a bonk, too. So he said he couldn't. This is the other thing, too. They asked him, well, okay, those are some pretty strong rumors. Right. Where did you hear these rumors? He couldn't confirm the source of the rumors. He wasn't sure. I'm not positive. I hear things. Right. I'm out all the time. I talk to a lot of people.
Could have been voices in
rumors.
My head.
And everybody's got theories. Right. Everybody's like, I think your wife was strangled. I think your wife was shot. I'm not sure who said the shot one. They ain't positive about it.
Maybe we was playing Clue, and it was Colonel mustard.
I'm not positive.
I don't remember.
We can check that. That's what
there
the
was
rumor.
a lot of clues.
I heard. That's what I heard. You could check. Y'all could check the board.
It's a game of process of elimination.
That's what it is. He said that he knew no reason why Pauline, his wife, Polly, would have problems with Dee, and he did not think Dee was capable of hurting Polly. So he's like, wipe that thought out of your head. Yeah. Someone shot her, but not fucking her, even though she took off and is on meth and they've been fighting for 20 years. Not the source of it.
I just saw him show up to a police interrogation room with the board game, and he just like starts setting it up, and they're like, what are you doing? He's like, we're about to figure out this goddamn murder. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
That's not how this works, sir.
No. And then then he says some more weird shit. Yeah. They ask him about the rental properties. What are you going to do with all these rental properties and all this? Are you going to do this? And he's like, these things are a goddamn pain in the ass. He's like, I'll tell you what.
I'll make
he's
you
like,
a damn good deal on it.
He said that Pauline, she better come back here because she's got to take care of these rental properties. He then says, even if I had to, quote, dig her back up, he'd make sure she'd be in charge of the rentals.
Who said she was dead?
So now she's been bonked on the head. One's in Mexico fighting with her daughters, maybe been shot and possibly now buried.
But for sure, I got to dig her up.
Not sure where I heard that she was buried, though. Right. I'm not sure. Maybe this was the same guy who told me that she was shot in the head. So then June 29th, he's got another rumor. Yeah. 3 days later,
God.
He heard a rumor. Fucking rumor. Where are these rumors floating around? Where is he hanging out? Is he in Deadwood? Is he just hanging out at Al Swear? He's hanging out at the Gem with Al Swearingen. He's like, I heard a guy rode into town today with news from Yankton and told us all about what the fuck is happening. Rumors.
I was down at VFW, and then I was over at the junior, as I was a president.
the rodeo there, the Ozark Junior Rodeo.
Rodeo shit.
Wow. I should have put that on things to do, by the way.
This little Bobby has some damn good theories.
So Bob says at this point, his rumor is that Polly and Dee were both dead. Both of them.
Both of them are now
separate, dead. Obviously, because one disappeared and then one was there and the other one disappeared. That they're both dead in Oklahoma. And heard a rumor that Polly was dead by the river. They
Mutton
said...
busting champion told me, so it has to be true.
Now they're like, okay. 3 days ago, you had other theories and rumors. You couldn't confirm them.
Right.
We didn't know that because a week went by. You couldn't confirm them. Now, 3 days later, you've now heard in the last 3 days. By the way, the instant you heard, never got a phone call from you going, just heard something crazy.
Right.
Why you guys might want to follow up on this shit.
Just so I don't forget where I heard it.
Yeah. No, in 3 days, he heard rumors that both his wife and stepdaughter are dead, which is one of them's dead by a river. Yeah. Very specific rumors of his wife. And he says, I can't remember who told me that, though. I can't. The source, I just don't know.
It's a little foggy.
I hear a little bird. I'm not sure. Like, holy.
Every time I talk to somebody, they're asking me about it. And so I tell them the facts. And then they go, well, this could have happened.
He just says, I heard a rumor. And then just goes, I don't know where I heard it. In the last 3 days, it could have been anybody.
That's bananas.
You don't live in a town where there's enough people to not remember who the fuck told you. It's not like I've talked to 45,000 people in the last 3 days. I don't remember which one to. You could have talked to everyone in the whole fucking area, and you still should remember which one of them told you that your wife's dead by a river.
Bob, are you a telemarketer by chance? That you talk to this many people?
Maybe he is. A fella on the phone from Wyoming told me a story. So now it's at this point, the police learn that Dee is not dead in Oklahoma. She is in fact in Mississippi and has been in Mississippi, and that she had taken money and a vehicle from Bob for the trip. Okay. And also that Bob wired her money to return. So
why would he hear a rumor that she's dead if he's feeding her money?
If he's giving her money and telling her that she could go and where she's going to be.
And how to get there?
I think that's called lying. Right. I believe I think
terribly.
The technical term is lying to like a fucking murderous asshole.
And the easiest way to bust, like
lying.
We can see your fucking financial statement.
I think she's dead. So yeah, why are you wiring money to Mississippi while your wife's missing?
I was sending her money for her funeral. She asked for it and said she might be dead.
Maybe. So Dee pops back up at the house on June 29th, the same day that he had a rumor that she was dead.
There she is.
I guess she's not dead. Hey, is your mom behind you?
You would not believe the rumors I've been hearing about
so many
you.
rumors about you. People never stop talking about you. It's crazy. So within a month of this disappearance, she disappeared on the 15th. By the time she gets back on the 29th, within a few days, she now lives in the house with Bob. She's no longer in the trailer. She now lives in the ranch house with Bob.
Got it.
Just moved right in there. Now, they can't find her. There's no evidence of anything. Yeah. As far as they know, she's disappeared. Yeesh. And nobody knows shit. Yeesh. So there's no arrests are made.
No.
Nothing happens. Time goes by. It's November 2007.
Oh, so many blowjobs since then.
Oh, God, Jesus.
Gross.
Disgusting.
Vile.
The horrors that are going on. You thought Rulo was gross. Yeah. This is almost grosser. So the property in November is searched again.
Yeah.
The whole 240 acres. How the fuck do you even search that? It's searched for spent shell casings outside the home to see if maybe there was shooting out there. If maybe somebody was shot.
Yeah.
Something. They're just trying to find something. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Blue Apron.
BlueApron.com.
Oh, Blue Apron is fantastic. Blue Apron delivers farm-fresh ingredients and step-by-step recipes to your door. The #1 meal delivery service in the United States. Get your 2-person meal plan, your family meal plan, your wine plan.
Yeah.
So much good stuff at Blue Apron. This is pre-portioned stuff. All the spices, everything, every little instruction down to the detail. You cannot mess this up.
Yeah.
Even if you're a really good cook, you're going to love this. If you don't know how to cook, you're still going to do great with this.
Yeah.
That's how wonderful.
If you don't know how to cook, it's going to be much better for you because you're going to learn.
You're going to learn things like honey chipotle glazed chicken with poblano and lime rice. Holy cow. Christy Teigen's things, her chipotle lime chicken fajitas with sauteed mushrooms and sweet peppers. There's so much good stuff. So check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free at blueapron.com/small. That's blueapron.com/small to get your first 3 meals free. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
blueapron.com/small for your first 3 meals. And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show here to tell you about a new show. Move over YouTube. The Collider Network is now on Podcast One.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. Get your fix for all your pop culture needs with shows like Jedi Council, Movie Talk, Collider Heroes, 1x1 with Christian Harloff, and Movie Trivia Schmodown. Check out the Collider Network podcasts at Podcast One and Apple Podcasts. Also, remember to rate and review.
That's so important. And now back to the show.
Now, while they're there searching, Bob's there, and he starts getting super pissed off. Now, imagine this old farmer in his overalls, ranting and a raving around his farm, saying, "That's it, you people are incompetent, you don't know what you're doing." Then he tells them, quote, "I'm going to have to solve Polly's case myself. That's all that can happen.
Okay.
You guys are off the case. Y'all are fired. Forget it."
He's firing them.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
If there's police investigation, especially if you're kind of a suspect, you can't just say, "I'll do it myself."
I mean, tell OJ.
Y'all relax. Yeah. And they weren't like, "Oh, you got this? Cool, that's all right. Yeah, we got a lot of other shit to do. It's a big city. LA's big. There's a lot of other stuff. You tell us how you get back to us like 6, 7, 8 months maybe. Tell us your progress, and if you need anything, let us know." So he said that he's going to have to solve them himself. Yeah. Then he says a month ago, this before this was in October 2007, he says that 2 or 3 men, not sure which, by the way, terrible memory on Bob. It's just the worst.
And
I don't
really
know.
Bad at math.
I don't know how many people came over.
Right.
2, not 7 or 8. Right. 7 or 8, you'd be like, I think it was 7. They might have been 8. 2 or 3, whether it was 2 or 3. I've never not remembered if there was 2 or 3 people present, something that happened a fucking month ago. Especially something of significance like this. This isn't like just nothing like, "Oh, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 Mormons that came to my door that day." Because I just slammed the door in their face, told them to fuck off. I told them to, good luck with getting your own planet, and I slammed the fucking door. this is different. These people, he said, not sure, but 2 or 3 men came to sell him back one of his own stolen guns.
You wouldn't know.
Didn't know if it was, I mean, you'd know if it was 2 or 3,
right.
and you should even have documented it by, I don't know, immediately calling the police.
Right.
Hey, those guys that broke into my house, 2 or 3 of them, I'm not sure. Maybe took my wife.
They may have
Definitely
just
took
come
the
back
recliner.
to sell me a gun that is my own.
And also he said they sought reward money for information regarding Polly's disappearance.
Okay.
They said, we know where she is if you tell us. But he then backed them down. He told them to get the hell out of here by pulling a straight razor and putting it to one of their throats while holding a gun on one of the other ones. So now he's turned into some sort of action hero. Yeah. Now he grabs a guy with a straight razor around the throat while pulling a gun out with the other hand, holding the other 1 or 2, maybe at bay.
How many did you hold at bay?
Yeah.
Because you have to know that
Well, you
number.
had a razor on
Right.
one. How many other did you have to point the gun back and forth, or did you hold it in one place, Bob? I don't know.
You
Not
didn't
sure.
survey the land
Nope.
to know whether or not you could take them. Like you,
I had a straight razor and a gun, and sometimes instinct and training just takes over. I did tell you I was in the Navy, right? So you know how that
it
goes.
wasn't the gun that made him back them down. It was the black, or what is the embezzlement? What's the word I'm looking for? Extortion.
Extortion.
Attempt.
There you go. Yeah.
Extortion attempt at Polly's information.
So that would be the one. And now all of this has happened. Did he call the police? Nope. Nope. He just said once they came the next month, he's like, oh, I forgot to tell y'all. A couple or 3, a couple or a few. I'm not sure.
There were some men.
How 2 or 3? Is there a term for that?
There was plural men.
Then he said, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Then he tells them, so I backed him down. I said, fuck you with Polly, and I got a razor. But then he tells the cops, so I bought the gun back.
What?
They're like, but you had a razor and a gun on the guy. Why didn't you just take the gun back?
Right.
And if they had guns, why were they afraid of you with a razor and a gun? We're all very confused. But he said, what fair is fair. They stole it fair and square. He didn't say this, I'm sure, but they stole it fair and square. I bought it back fair and square.
Deal's a deal.
He then said he bought his own gun back at gunpoint, and was informed by these gentlemen, doesn't know which one, obviously told him this, that Polly's recliner had been dumped in Russellville.
Okay.
So here's this. Not going to say shit about where your wife is, but if you want her chair, it's over it's yonder.
Counting money.
it's over yonder in Russellville. So the cops are just fucking shaking their heads in disbelief. How do you not just cuff this guy? Right. I'm not sure how you did it, but we're taking you in. I don't know what happened, but this is fucking ridiculous.
Listen, your story is fucking stupid.
This is the worst story we've ever had. Literally the worst. We've had serial killers in here, killed 100 people that have had a more cohesive and coherent story than you have right now. What a piece of shit your story is. He kept changing the facts of the story, too. Over the course of it, he'd go, no, it was 2. It was 2 men. And then 5 minutes later, he's like, so all 3 of them were standing there. And they're like, you just said you're positive it's 2. He's like, I think it was 3. He doesn't know.
It's a big fish story now.
They said, how much did you pay for your stolen gun? What would a man pay for his own weapon back? And he said, I don't remember.
What?
What?
I just threw a handful of
I don't
change
remember.
at him.
I just said, here.
Told him, take it.
They said, all right. What the fuck? All right. What the fuck is going on with this fucking Bob guy?
This is amazing.
This is why it would also be hard to be a cop. How do you not beat this man with your nightstick? How do you not
tase him until he tells you the truth?
I'm just the closest object. Just go on top of the head. That's bullshit. Every time you fucking lie, Bob, you're getting one on the fucking head. I know this is all against the Constitution and everything, but everyone sees this, right? Does anyone object to knocking this guy on the fucking head? I think if you put him on pay-per-view or just a screen where everyone in the country could see that, nobody wouldn't say, hit him on the fucking head. He's lying. He killed his wife, hit him on the fucking head. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
Unbelievable.
This is ridiculous. So he said he doesn't know how many he paid. The detectives obviously think this doesn't make a drop of sense. Right. They think he's out of his fucking mind. But what they do is they have nothing else to go on. They try to follow up on this information. They're like, they're just wasting time.
They're dumber than he is.
I was going to say, maybe he should be on the case of solving it himself because they're not going to fucking solve it. How dumb is this?
He's got to be driving back to his farm like, I can't believe that shit worked.
I guess you have to check it out so then you could say that it's a lie. Right. So then you can prove it's a lie. Because otherwise, if you make up something crazy enough, they're like, we got to check that out first.
Maybe
right?
he doesn't know how to count.
That's
you know
crazy.
What I mean? Like they got to just sit there on the chair and go. Wouldn't you at least as a detective just like roll your chair over to the other guy next to you as soon as he leaves and be like, shit's not adding up, right?
Right,
like,
this isn't right,
I'm not
right?
fucking crazy, right?
That's not right, right?
There's no fucking way this story's real,
It's
right?
not. This is crazy, right? So, July 2008, this goes all the way to July 2008. They go back to Bob. Any new information? Heard any rumors, Bob? Anything at all? Anybody come visit you? He retold the same horse shit from November. Told it to different detectives this time. They just said, you guys try. This
They sent new detectives out.
They're like, you try it. I don't fucking know. I'm telling you, he's going to say this. Just trust me. It's going to be crazy. I feel like it was like on a dare.
Yeah.
Like they're like, bullshit. And
No
they're like,
way.
No. And they're like, dude, go to the farm. I'm telling you. And they're like, all right.
Give it a go.
Fuck it. Let's see what he says this time. So they go out and so he repeats the same shit. And they're like, all right, well, at least it's consistent. And then he comes up with another detail.
Oh, my God.
He's like, by the way, there was 2 white guys in a car who drove to the house looking for reward money. Now it's only 2 white guys, and that's it. Now I remembered. Yeah, now it was 2 white guys, and they were in a car.
I got
remember
the count.
car.
Because see, here's how I remember. There are 2 seats in the front of a car, and they were occupying both of them.
That's how I know.
That's how I knew.
There's at least 2. They seemed white. Based on the area, or they might have been Asian. I'm not positive.
It was a Buick Riviera, so I knew it was white people.
That's true. I knew it was white. So
there was nobody in the back seat. So
couldn't be anybody,
2, right?
That's how it adds up to me.
Unless was one lapping it? Is one?
Damn.
No. Fuck.
So
2. I'm gonna go with 2.
We're going with fuck. That's my answer. No, that's it right there. Pencil it in.
Final answer.
So months go by again. Nothing happens. Mm-hmm. It's a cold case now. It's just a dead case with a bunch of horse shit information.
No, it's fucking not.
It doesn't seem cold to me. Yeah, but to them,
it's hot as fuck. Is what it is.
To these people, it's cold. They haven't figured it out yet.
It's as hot as the stepdad fucking his stepdaughter.
Ooh, hot. Ooh. So, while she's missing, the police describe the DeVore family members as uncooperative at best in the investigation. It seemed that only the residents around that knew her and law enforcement are the only people who seem to give a shit about her disappearance, because there's still neighbors going, what happened with Pauline? Anybody ever find her or anything like that? He said, other than that, there wasn't nobody was calling. Yeah. He said, normally in this type of case, there's families calling you all the time going, what's the progress on my relative? Did you find anything, a clue, anything you could tell me? He said nobody called, said, where's my mom? Where's my wife?
Not even the sons in Texas.
Nobody was calling. I'm sure nobody here was calling.
Gotcha.
None of these people. Right. But Bob's not calling going, hey, where's my wife? You find her yet? You find those 3 guys? Anything? Nobody called. They're just like, everybody's, I guess she's gone. Fuck it. So it's insane here. So they have nothing. It's cold, dead cold, because they're idiots. Early 2009, something strange happens, completely unrelated to this, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Monica Bautista, remember her?
The meth dealer.
The methy Dolores' meth friend.
Unbelievable cook.
She's arrested. On other charges, on drug charges.
Completely
separate
go
from
to
all this. Yeah, that's the thing about meth dealers and people on meth. There's a reason why the mafia for a long time didn't want the people selling drugs, because when they got caught in the 50s, they passed huge mandatory sentences where if you got caught trafficking heroin, you went to jail for 75 years, which makes you want to rat on people so you don't go to fucking jail. That's what ends up happening. That's why they didn't want it. That's why it's bad to plot things with meth dealers.
And if you are going to sell drugs, don't do them because it makes you fucking stupid.
That's not, especially meth here. So she decides, she ends up making a deal, and we'll find out what ends up happening, but she becomes a state's witness in exchange for complete not only immunity in her separate charges, but complete immunity in the in the Pauline DeVore case, because she's going to need it, because she's got some responsible for some shit.
Oh boy.
She tells police here, this is early 2009, that she helped Dolores plan this murder. She basically said that they were talking over and over again about Dolores is a problem, and finally one of these, or not Dolores, Pauline's a problem, Pauline's a problem, and finally Dolores said one of these days, she said, I got to do something about this, and Monica said, what are you going to do? And she said, we're going to kill her. That's what we're going to do.
This chimichanga.
But first, let me hit this meth pipe.
Right.
And you cook that, and I got a meth pipe going. I got a meth pipe going like it's like I got a roast in the oven.
Right.
Come on, everybody, I got a meth pipe cooking.
She's got it all cherried up. Let's go.
Shows you how much meth I've done in my life. None. Meth pipe going. So, fuck that.
It's not so much as an incense, James.
It's not the same. No, not at all. It's not like lighting a joint. No. Like, I got this joint roasting. Anybody want some? So she tells the police here she helped her plan the murder, that Monica was the one that lured Pauline to this location on the farm. And what ended up happening is Dolores killed Pauline, and we'll find out how in a second, and then burned her body afterwards, okay? Bautista now full immunity on this. She lured and murdered a 70-year-old lady here, and fine, she's done. So she also tells police that Dolores approached her about a week prior to Pauline disappearing, asked her for help in killing her mother, the conversation we just had, which normally that's a conversation where I look at my watch and I'm like, I got a lot of places to be.
So we're good
real
with
soon.
The meth deal now. We're done here.
So meth's gone. Chimichangas are all those chimichangas all eaten up. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here then.
Digesting well. I gotta run.
Take it easy there. I'll have tamales next week. So she asked for help in killing her. This Monica said that on June 14th, they lured her to a secluded spot on the farm. Lured her, said there was something out there, an animal. She wasn't specific on it. And then Eggert, Dolores killed her, said that she hit her mother in the head with a tire iron.
Jesus.
You know, she maybe might have heard a rumor she got hit in the head. Right. And then shot her 3 times.
My Christ.
Also heard a rumor she got shot. He can't control himself. No. This is what happened, and he knew that. So he's just like, I'm just dropping, that's what I heard. I don't know.
I heard it in between slurps on my penis.
Yeah, but so, you know, it's hard to hear when that's going on. So thank you for the sound effects. So then... So hit her in the head with a tire iron and then shot her. And then later, and then burned her. And they said... Yeah, she said that they hit her in the head with a tire iron, shot her, drug her out there, had to try to burn her several times.
Jeez,
human bodies don't
burn.
They don't burn very well.
Are you flammable, James?
That's not very.
I mean, flammable.
If you keep doing it, eventually, but it's hard. You got to dry me out first. It's very difficult.
If I keep drinking this bullet, I'll be flammable eventually.
This is what I mean. Like we've how many times have we had that where people try to burn bodies on this show and they're like, it just didn't work. I got to keep trying. So he said they also they returned back and forth to remove like personal items of hers that they were like, shit, she had like things on her that, you know, can identify her and whatever. So they took that shit and threw it into the river.
Off of a fucking charred body.
Yep, they said they took it. They took these things, put them into a cup, and drove to a bridge where they threw the cup and the items into the water. All that sort of thing. They gathered up anything that could be considered evidence. They said they then took teeth and bone fragments.
Oh my God.
And scattered them throughout the entire hundreds of acres of ranch here. Monica said that Dolores asked her, like I said, about a week before, and then they came up with this whole plot. So they're like, okay, well, that's a pretty good tale you've told us, but how do we know that's true?
Yeah.
How do we know? Well, how about this? How about we wire you up?
Yeah.
Now it's turning into a fucking mob thing here. So they wire her up. Well, never mind. I won't even do a wire reference. It's too easy. So they put the recording device on Monica. Monica meets with D where? At a fucking Walmart parking lot.
You betcha.
Where else would you meet for nefarious gatherings in Arkansas?
At least it wasn't one of the 6 fucking cemeteries.
Jesus, that's true. Meet me at one of them. So they meet at the Walmart parking lot.
Well, it's confusing. See, if she said meet me at the cemetery, which one? We only got one Walmart.
Never mind. I'll see you at the one Walmart. It's over in Summers. I get it's not here, but so they meet at the Walmart parking lot on April 13th, 2009. D is driving Polly's car, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, she's driving her car, which is funny. She had a Cadillac that D is now taking over her house, her husband, her car, her farm, all her shit. They have a conversation. D encourages Monica at this point because Monica's like, the cops have been asking me questions and whatever. So D, in this recorded conversation, is encouraging Monica to stick to their story, stick to the story. He said also, seek out Bob. Bob will hire you a private attorney in case if they're messing with you. That way they'll keep you away. Bob has money now. Don't worry that law enforcement might find anything. She said that D specifically says we took her ring off.
Oh, Jesus.
And don't worry about that. They won't find that. No one knew that they went to the bridge and threw that shit off. She said, quote, not even my dad knew. In other words, not even Bob knows about that part.
Daddy.
Not even daddy. Ooh, that's creepy.
Gross.
He said also, don't worry because it's been 2 years and the river has risen many feet and it's
washed away by now.
Don't give in to the cops, basically.
Amazing she said all this
Don't
shit.
crack. She says all this on tape. So then they, can the tape over.
Yeah.
Monica directs law enforcement to the dumping area where they found burnt dental crowns and bone fragments that they matched up the crowns.
Fuck.
Because they were
2 years later, they're still there.
They're still there.
That's
and
awesome.
They still matched them up to her and they found out it was her. So those are, they compare those crowns. They were the big deal. They also find charred bones. They find all just bits and pieces of charred remains that have been scattered all around the property here.
Fucking Yahtzee, though.
Yeah, no, I would say at least it's there. Also, police had at least 4 people who were recording phone calls and conversations with Dolores at this point. She told, she said she talked to Monica about all that, like we said. They said police were still looking for evidence. They said, quote, we've had a backhoe running 12 hours a day for 4 days at one point because it's such a huge property. What they find too when they search the house here, research it again, in D's bedroom, they find a greeting card from Bob to D.
Oh boy.
And it says, quote, I'll never tire of playing with fire as long as that fire is you. Signed, I love you, Bob.
What a poet.
And when you open the card, it plays Ring of Fire.
Oh, what an asshole.
What a poet. And then he's got a fucking...
yeah, fucking Johnny Cash.
He's got one of those in there, which nothing wrong with Johnny Cash.
Yeah,
but don't put it in a goddamn greeting card.
But you don't steal his fucking...
That's what's
jerk
pathetic,
off.
yeah.
We get the fire.
So they get the official testimony from Monica. They get it all on recorded that she wore the wire and all that stuff.
Meanwhile, he got a rhyme in there. That's impressive.
That's not bad.
I'll never tire playing with fire.
Playing with fire.
As long as that fire is you.
Jeez, I feel like that's
what a country song.
It's probably a lyric of a country song from the 40s or something.
You can probably Google it and it's fucking somebody awful.
Yeah. Also, on this wire, Dolores tells Monica that she's ready to flee the area.
Yeah.
And all that sort of thing. She says, quote, she's not going to spend the rest of her life in jail.
Oh, boy.
So that ain't happening. April 2009, she is charged with murder and taken into custody.
Oh, you are about to spend the rest of your life.
You're about to have a problem. It happens in a weird way. They're about to arrest her anyway, and they receive a call from a friend of hers who's concerned that she'd possibly overdosed on pills in a suicide attempt. Detectives found her on the farm in her mother's home there. She had taken an undetermined amount of pills, and she was taken by ambulance to the hospital where she was arrested.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, you failed, and you're under arrest for murder. So I bet you really wish you pulled it off now, don't you?
You know how you really want to get out of that bed anyway because it's the worst bed known to man?
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you're handcuffed to it.
Oh, you're handcuffed to it, and it's capital murder, by the way, because you stole a bunch of shit in the process. So now she's up for she is death penalty eligible here. She's not allowed to be released from the hospital, obviously. She's booked into jail. She is charged with murder, like we said. She's being held without bond. They said that if they didn't get there in time, quote, if we hadn't intervened, she would have died about the pill overdose. I guess it was a serious attempt on her life. It wasn't she was trying to end this shit because she knew it was over with here. So they said that the investigation's continuing. At this point, they said that Bob is not a suspect. How the fuck is Bob not a suspect?
I mean,
Bob is the suspect. He lied to cover it all up. He's at least in something.
At minimum, an accomplice.
And I feel like, at minimum. That's really hard. So they said that it was, the prosecutor said it was too soon to decide whether to seek the death penalty. They said they didn't know what it was about. They thought that possibly they had arguments over money and that credit card thing. The police officer said that the money was the problem. I think that's what the rub was initially. Oh, so that's a weird way of putting it.
I think it was a little worse than that, officer, and stop talking like a guy from the 40s.
They also see how that's what the rub was. Right. See, yeah. They said that probably something to do with finances. They said they were this is the other thing. To the prosecutor, commended the sheriff's office for not letting up on the investigation for 2 years. Quote, they did a tremendous job.
No, they
didn't. They should have fucking...
This is maybe the worst investigation ever.
Any detective worth half a shit gets Bob into a room telling fucking half-truths and contradictions and not having answers for where he heard shit. He's going to make Bob fucking crumble. He's going to make Bob cry in his fucking chair. Anyone that's worth half a shit. They should have brought in somebody from somewhere where there's murders to talk to this fucking guy.
Fill that chest pouch with fucking tears.
That's with tears. Get your puffs out of your chest pouch and dry your little tears and your snot there. They also thanked the Arkansas Archaeological Survey for helping identify the remains on the scene.
Well done.
April 22nd, 2009. Bob gives another statement to investigators, which he was asked about Monica and whether he had contact with her. He said, this is amazing, Bob expressed concern that he would be accused of burying something, that he had a machine that could dig 30 feet deep and that he had been digging and burying things for 40 years. So he's concerned he's going to be accused of burying something because he has the capability of burying shit. This is what he tells the cops. He can't help but tell them what happened. That's what it is. He can't help it. He can't fucking help it. He has to try to tell them.
This theory that y'all are going to connect me to shit because I can dig 30 feet.
I can dig 30 feet holes, and I might have dug a big hole on that day in the exact... I said too much again. I don't remember who told me that. Okay, go home then. Bye.
Right.
So, October 19, 2009, prosecutors say they will not seek the death penalty for Dolores. They said that a case was not appropriate for the death penalty. He said, quote, you don't seek the death penalty just for the sake of it, which that's a reasonable way of looking at it. That's good.
There's a lot of people on death row for one fucking murder.
Yeah, but I think they're saying you don't seek the death penalty just for the white woman of it, I think is what they're saying in Arkansas, if we could translate from Arkansas to the rest of the country.
You don't kill a white girl for nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is, they've only killed Arkansas only executed 2 women in 162 previous years.
Wow.
One was the first woman hanged in 1845.
And what'd she do?
Her and her husband and their son were hanged for the murder of a Jonathan Selby, a bachelor who lived near Fayetteville, who was murdered for money he supposedly kept at his house.
A very rich, eligible white bachelor. They killed him.
And then the last woman executed by the state was Christina Marie Riggs, who was asked for the death penalty for drugging and suffocating her 2 children in 96. Yeah. She was executed by lethal injection in May of 2000.
Because you can't kill kids.
I want to say there was an Oz character based on her. I want to say that one lady wanted to die and wanted to be hung and then changed her mind. I wanted to say that you've never watched the fucking show. Anyway. So they're saying that the prosecutors feel there's plenty of evidence for conviction without a body. She's up for automatic life term without parole if she's convicted of this capital murder.
Yeah.
Early 2010, Dee's jail cell is searched in a regular contraband search, and they find 2 Valentine's cards from Bob. One card was postmarked from Bob to Dee on February 9th, 2010, and it read, quote, Valentine, if loving you is a crime, then throw my happy ass in jail. He's just...
What?
He sits around and thinks
He
of
does.
shit. He really does.
He's
a
short
good,
and sweet, too.
He's a good card writer. I got to give him that credit for nothing else.
Yeah.
He's that. The other card also from Bob was titled, quote, "I love you when," and then it says a booklet meant just for you. It's one of those. I love you when, and there's a booklet. It contained the following: "I love you when my hormones tell me that I'm in the mood."
Oh,
that's one of the
my
I love you when.
God.
That's so you wouldn't give that to your stepdaughter if it didn't mean something weird. Also, while she was in custody, Bob called Dee hundreds of times and visited her weekly.
Jesus.
The woman who's in jail for killing your wife.
And you're telling her,
strange.
I love you grossly when my hormones tell me I'm... Who says hormones? That's vile.
Fucking disgusting.
That's creepy.
So August 16th, 2010, the murder trial is about to start for her capital murder. Just when it's about to start, she says, never mind, guilty. Plead guilty.
Oh, wow.
Time out.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Never mind. Pleads guilty to first-degree murder. She changed her plea there, obviously. She said she admits she shot her mother 3 times. That's what caused her death. She said she was still alive after getting hit in the head with the iron. She's like I said, she's accused of all of that. Now, Bob is then arrested. After that, he is then arrested right after that and charged with hindering apprehension and tampering with evidence. Nothing to do with murder. The sheriff said, quote, DeVore staged a crime scene in his home to try to throw the investigation off. And he also said that Bob wasn't surprised when he was arrested and said, I was expecting this.
There you go.
So he knew that was coming. Yeah. He also said that...
Y'all read that card where I said hormones?
Did you see that? Because that was kind of gross.
And I spelled it whore, W-H-O-R-E.
I expected that to come back and get me.
I knew it.
He said that the police officer said that Dolores and Bob have been carrying on a sexual relationship for a couple years.
Gross.
He said that, again, the theory here is the credit card pissed off her, and the judge looks at her and says, you, ma'am, may fuck off. 30 years in prison she gets for that.
Wow.
Which is not that bad.
Pretty
it's kind of a light deal. You're going to do 15, 17 years or some shit, or 20, depending on the state. But still, she's going to be 60. She's younger than her mom was when she died. So, like I said, Bob's arrested for hindering apprehension or prosecution. They said, quote, Mr. DeVore made statements to a witness for the state within days of the murder of his wife, acknowledging his prior knowledge of the murder and cover-up of the crime after it was committed to aid Dolores Eggert in avoiding arrest and prosecution. They said they talked about the sexual relationship a little.
Jesus.
The prosecutor, after all this, after she pleads guilty, said, quote, I'm really relieved that it's over. It was going to take a long time and it wasn't going to be easy. They said that was going to be a huge pain in the ass. There's no body. There's just some fragments. And so Bob's trial. Bob goes to trial.
He took it to trial.
And he wore fucking overalls in court. I'm not kidding. I swear to Christ. I have a photograph of him.
Like the Home Depot mascot.
Sitting.
Holy shit.
He's sitting in a fucking court of law next to 2 men in suits wearing fucking overalls, dude. He's got a white, like a country dress shirt and a fucking pair of overalls on.
The judge had to go. The
judge had to ask him to remove the straw from his mouth. Can you remove that hay from your mouth, please, sir?
That judge had to sit down looking up from his paper and go, are those fucking overalls?
Are you wearing overalls? I just picture the My Cousin Vinny judge telling him, you're not allowed to wear that in my courtroom. He's got to go back. He's going to come back with a tuxedo.
Go to a thrift store and buy a fucking dinner coat. Jesus Christ.
Bob testifies at trial.
Of course he does.
Like a fucking genius. Says that he knew Dee was leaving town Sunday, June 17th, and he gave her $200. And he said he knew she was actually going to Mississippi, and that he did not recall. He said he didn't recall law enforcement asking him where Dee was, but he remembered telling them that he didn't think she had run.
Yeah.
So he's lying. Yeah. Bob said that Dee never told him that she was involved in Pauline's disappearance until after her arrest for murder. Said she didn't until just now, basically.
What?
Bob denied having any sexual sexual relationship with Dee. He claims that he bought the Ring of Fire card because he just liked Johnny Cash's song.
Okay.
He said the Valentine's card he sent to Dee was just his way of giving law enforcement, quote, something to talk about in their meetings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like rumors. I like to start them sometimes.
I'm a trickster. That's what I am. I'm a trickster.
What about the bullet holes in your living room, sir?
Fucking ridiculous. A guy named Gene Partlow, which is also Chris from The Wire's last name, is a resident of Siloam Springs. He testified he was a friend of Dee's and that they did drugs together and that he sometimes worked with her because he's a painter. And I guess she does whatever kind of work. He said that Dee came to Mississippi to work with him when she disappeared. That's where she went. He also testified that he walked into Dee's trailer one time and caught Dee and Bob, quote, hugging and kissing.
Oh, boy.
He explained that the kiss involved tongue and was, quote, more than a father-daughter kiss.
Yeah,
there's tongue involved.
Yeah.
I would say that's more than a father-daughter kiss.
She had her hand on the front of his overalls.
Now I'm picturing Jenna Maroney on the seesaw in Vacation. And the first Vacation goes, yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best at it. That's what I just picture. And that is Jenna Maroney, which fucking blew my mind.
Disgusting.
I blew my mind.
Daddy says I'm the best.
Daddy says I'm the best at it. So Monica testifies too. She says that she's Dee's meth dealer, testified that Dee killed Polly, the whole deal, says that then after she killed him, they searched Bob and Polly's house for money and prescription drugs. She denied they shot a gun inside the house. They're saying that Bob did that afterwards to stage the whole thing. She said that Dee just hated her mother for reporting that credit card, testified that Bob was put to Polly's remains, he was supposed to dig a hole and put Polly's remains in it with the tractor. She also says, Monica, she recalled Dee speaking to Bob on the telephone while they were driving away from Siloam Springs that night, and Dee was very upset during that conversation, and that Dee and Bob met up at the casino that night. I killed Mom. Yeah. To tell him about that. Monica said that they returned back on Sunday, and that Dee told Bob she had to leave, and Bob gave Dee money and a vehicle to drive, and also Monica threw in, I do think they were having an inappropriate sexual relationship also. Let me throw that in there.
That's so vile.
So then Dee has to testify.
Oh, boy.
She testifies about Monica. She testifies that Monica brought Polly, that they both brought her to the dump area that day.
Yeah.
Dee tried to shoot her, she says. Then says Monica hit her in the head, and then Dee got another gun to shoot Polly, and then they worked together to burn the body. So that's a real meth team.
Yeah.
Team meth right there.
Jesus.
Dee said she called Bob to tell him the job was done, although she said that that meant bush hogging, whatever the fuck that is, something she's supposed to do, that she had completed at the ranch. She called him to say, I did my job at the ranch here. Dee said that Bob met her at the casino in Oklahoma for dinner that night. Like we said, she agreed that she left town with money. That's all not whatever. She said that she was going to see, she said she did a painting job, the same thing. She told investigators earlier that she and Bob did have a sexual relationship, but then at trial denied it, even though they said it's on record that you said it to investigators. She said, I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't do that.
I don't know who told me that rumor, that I'm having sex with somebody. So I
was having sex with 2 or 3 men.
I'm not positive. So the jury has to, figure this out. Basically, they have to figure out whether Bob provided or aided Dee with a weapon, money, or transportation, or disguise, or any other means of avoiding apprehension or avoiding discovery. Blah 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 blah. The jury finds him, not shockingly, guilty. In 2011, he is found guilty of hindering prosecution or apprehension. February 25th. 2011 is his sentencing. The judge gives him, you sir, let's give him a you sir, because he's the biggest idiot we've had in a while. You sir may fuck off. He gets 10 years in jail for hindering prosecution. So that's a third of the time for actual fucking vicious murder. I feel like she got light or he got something, and a $15,000 fine for good measure there. Bob appeals on all this. He appeals saying the evidence wasn't strong enough. the whole deal. Evidence wasn't strong enough. This was a problem. This was whatever. They look at all his appeals and they say, go fuck yourself. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Own it, sir.
The details he goes into are various rumors and inconsistencies about what might have happened, that he says the police didn't follow up on this crazy story he told him, and so that he was trying to help them, not hinder them. They said, appeal denied, dickhead. Fuck off here. And then June 13th, 2014, Bob is still in prison, and he dies.
Oh, damn.
He died in his overalls, in his prison issue overalls. After a battle with cancer.
Okay.
So Bob's fucking dead.
Yep.
She's still in prison.
In 4 years, he was diagnosed with cancer and then died of it. That's awesome.
Done and done.
That's fast.
She should be out in 2030. That's her estimated release date. That would be serving 20.
If she makes it that far.
And if she makes it that far, she's only going to be 60. Yeah. And she'll get out. And I don't know, maybe she'll calm down on the meth by then. And Monica Bautista's free to do whatever the fuck she wants.
Wow.
That's a crazy ass story.
Where the fuck were you on this one, Nancy Grace?
No shit.
This is right up your alley,
this
you white
is an
trash woman.
Insane fucking story. How crazy is this story? I never knew this existed.
They might be related to her. That might be why she didn't cover it.
It's just
I can't
silly.
talk about my grandfather.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
It hurts me inside. So that is Cincinnati, Arkansas, and that is the crazy case of the DeVores, Dolores Eggert, all these people. Poor Pauline, who had nothing to do with anything, and poor Pauline DeVore is dead.
Worked her ass off her whole life.
Poor tough woman, and she made the most of herself and was killed by her own fucking daughter. Very sad. If you like that story and aren't too sad, please go to iTunes and give us 5 stars.
We'll take it.
And tell us whatever you want about how much you like the show. Say whatever you want. It's not for our ego. It's for business. Speaking of business, if you want to continue to help make this a business for us, and be one of our heroic, amazing producers that we're going to talk about in just a moment here, you can do that very, very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or heading over to PayPal for a one-time donation. Just use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
And if that was too much information, why don't you just head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Shutupandgivememurder.com. Links are there. Social media is there. At Small Town Murder, at Murder Small. You know it. Find it. Just Google us. Look at shutupandgivememurder.com. Tour dates coming up very soon. Announcing it's about 18 cities. Probably coming somewhere near you, unless you live somewhere completely awful. But we'll see what happens there. But enough of that shit. Get on there and let's talk about it, Jimmy. Let's talk about the greatest people in the world. Hit us with that list.
Executive producers this week are Todd Griffith, Jillian Anderson, Chris Voss, Chrissy Ann Castaldi. Every week.
We love her. Thank you,
Chrissy. Fucking incredible. And Ewa Turowska, who I can't say her last name.
She's cool too.
She lived in New York and she she had to go. They made her leave. Her visa expired. They made her get the fuck out.
Where'd she have to go back to?
England, I think.
Oh, well, that's not that bad.
Yeah, she went
I thought she was going to say somewhere horrible.
She go to fucking the
She's
middle
like
of
Syria.
Into some war-torn horse shit place.
Congo.
She's doing okay.
That's rough.
I follow her on Instagram.
Darfur.
I see her from time to time. She's doing great. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much.
Hannah Radcliffe Hoy, Katie Ives, Sherry DeMarchant. Yes. DeMerchant. Not Marchant. Whatever.
That's fine. Thank you.
Melissa Pritchard, Katrina Bell, Craig McGeechan, Brick Whithouse. They tried to be clever. Brick Whithouse Comedy Podcast. They donated twice on Patreon and then also
thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we'll tell you are clever because you paid us twice.
Good
Thank you. Good job.
Fresh Picked. I'm not sure what that is. Google it. Hopefully you get the right one because I'm sure there's a shitload of them. Under the Sea Fabrics, thank you so much. GraphicStrategist.com. Ashley Boxler, Edward Gow, Amanda Burke, David Wallington, Arta Cialava.
All right, not bad.
I'm guessing.
It sounded good. I'm sure it's way off, but it sounded great.
Yeah. JC Degas.
Okay.
No. I'm wrong.
Just
JC, you're terrific.
Jimmy has refused for that to be a thing.
Shannon Stoica, Craig Ventura. That's a cool fucking name.
Craig Ventura?
Yeah,
that does sound cool. Yeah.
Samuel Wetmore, Natural Sciences, Patrick Haggerty, Aaron Gerald.
I'm going to bet $10,000 Craig Ventura's white, by the way.
Yeah. I'll bet you're going to fucking get paid, too.
Yeah.
Craig. You bet you have to. You've now made the bet.
Yeah,
you've now made the bet.
I bet you're white. I don't have that money though, so I'm betting theoretical money. It's not real.
Patrick Haggerty, Aaron Gerald, Mariah Minhier, Jason Fuller, Jake LeBeer, all three of them, by the way, constantly.
Thank you guys so much.
And Paul Ruest. I learned
Oh, yeah,
this, how
Roost
you
with his,
pronounce that.
Ruest it
Yeah,
is, with his
yeah.
memes.
Yeah,
Thanks, dude.
His son said, how come Jimmy doesn't know how to say our fucking name?
Well,
it's because Jimmy's an idiot.
It
That's
looks
why,
like
little
Roost,
buddy.
to be honest with you. So
Right.
I guess
R-U-E-S-T. That's Roost.
That's Roost in my book.
That's
Well,
not
Ruest,
Right.
fine. You know what? You donate, you're Ruest.
We'll French
fine.
it up for you.
There you go.
Eric Langenecker, Jane Richards, Heather Norton, Rachel Deal, Dylan Irish, Madeline Robinson, Kate Myers, Joseph Finn, Andrew Welmers, Sarah Stankovich.
Yeah.
Sorry about that one.
Sorry.
That is brutal.
Yeah,
Nathan
that's tough.
Nolte, Andrew Ballard, Jesse Landeros, Jesse Hartman, Kelly Higby, Gina XL, Tyler Gwill, Stephanie Igoa, Sarah, not Stephanie. It's definitely Sarah. Sarah Fletcher, Phoebe Ryans, Den Hendrickson. Zach Cornell, Chandel Whitney, Jennifer Edwards, Alexis Ellis, Spring Data Dynamo, I think.
Okay.
Dynamics? That says Dynamo.
Dynamo?
I don't know what that is. That's weird.
Hey, you know what? They know what it is, and that's the important part.
Maybe
They know who you are, don't you?
Maybe it's Dynamob, and I'm
Dynamob?
an idiot. There's a
Ooh.
B there, I think. Jude McConkey, Emma Banta, Ash with no last name, Nick Pfeiffer, SM Ripper, Emily Johnson, Tony Martin, Diablo Conqueso. That's
awesome.
Devil cheese.
Devil
or
cheese.
Cheese of the devil.
Cheese of the devil.
I think that's what it is.
Is that?
I hope that's somebody's real name. That's what I hope.
Is that El Perro? Is that what you're singing to me?
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's is that an American Dad reference by any chance?
It might be.
From the cartoon.
A Raging Chipmunk? Is that another one?
I don't know, but Sarah walks around the house singing that song all the time. So.
Oh, really? Conqueso?
El Diablo, El Conqueso, or Conqueso, El Diablo. That's
don't
the
look
song.
at me.
Go ahead.
I'm not here all the time. Jonas Jesus? Or Jonas
I'm
Jesus?
not here all the time.
Sarah Wetmore, Rachel, with no last name, Julia Wheeling, Sarah Streeter. No, Sean Streeter. I don't know why, because you said Sarah, you dick.
Planted a name.
Sean Streeter.
She does live here.
Brinchito 39. That's Deontay Brinson. So I don't know why he made me say all that with a number.
All right.
Thanks, Deontay.
Because he paid you to.
That's why.
Why. Thank you.
Tim Love, Annette Strons, Margaret Schwartz.
And I bet you he is black.
Or Spanish, if possible.
Maybe.
Probably black.
He's black. Right. He's as black as Craig Ventura is white. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
Dan Slesser, Valerie Guzman. Naima Shea, Andrew Batters, Brandon Warren, who has a podcast. I think it's the Midwest Swing. I think that's true.
Okay.
I think that's right.
I don't know.
It's Midwest something.
Well, shit, listen to it.
I was on it. I feel like an asshole. I'm sorry, Brandon. Cassandra Schro, Ken, with no last name, Brian Lowry.
Like a season.
Right.
Like a taco season.
Right. Andre Hashem, Lily Hill. That's easy.
Lily Hill. That's easy.
Ashley Lewis, Donovan Dykes, Jeffrey Gowen, Kaylee Wittenstein. Yes. Fuck yeah. Jacqueline Osborne, Jeanne or Jean, Gianna.
How do you spell?
Jeanne. No.
Jeanne. That's
right.
Jean.
Is that Jean or is that Jeanne?
I think it's Jeanne. That's how you spelled. If there was T's, there's like Jeanette.
Okay.
So I don't know.
It's Jeanne Bunn.
It might be Jeanne Bunn.
Jill Saff, Keenan Eisenbart, Alicia Farms Ferris. Yeah, Alicia Ferris. That's probably
just making words up now.
Pandora's Jar, Austin Poole, Rachel Sutton, Shannon Kimball, Michelle Carroll, Greg Averill, Sharon. It's Sharon Lacey. That's definitely right. Teresa Roderick, Christine Palmer, Mary Hendricks with an X.
Oh,
it's Hendrick
badass.
with an X.
I like it.
That's weird.
That's awesome.
That's fucking awful for me. Paul Barth, Shannon Jones, and Kelsey Munoz. Thank you guys so much for everything you do for us.
Really?
We can't do it without you.
Awesome. And if your name began with an S today, I apologize because we fucking destroyed it.
I
but
called
thank you.
everybody Sarah.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
You are amazing, and the studio is because of you, and thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. The donations are huge. They really help us out on the business, and they really make this viable because it's honestly what we get, the most we get out of this thing is from you guys. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys so much for that, making this a thing. And what if people wanted to make you a thing, Jimmy? How would they get a hold of you?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Whisman sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I appreciate you guys being around, and the shit you guys send me is hysterical. So thank you guys very much.
And you can find me at Jimmy P is Funny. Do that, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description. Don't try to be a hero. Do all of that. And here we are in our wonderful studios. And I get to say, until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.